echo as it always does. And then we can get into my unofficial official intro, which is just chaos. Get my shit together. Echo as it always. All right. Make sure I'm at the right screen. Everybody's here. All right. Hello, and welcome back to another conversation with Coco. I'm your host, Coco. I guess that's as good as intro as it can get over here on these sides of the street of this internet. So today we're gonna have a little kiki. I mean, I had intended this to be an intellectual dragging of sorts, but we're gonna discuss various manosphere talking points. We're going to obviously lightly debunk, but just drag it for the incoherent mess that it is. And then at the very end, I have a few wrap-up questions where we can dip back into our intellectual community bag. So before we get started, we're going to go around, introduce ourselves, let the girls know who you are, any current projects, where they can find you on social media, and all that jazz. Oh, and what interested you in participating in this conversation? So I'm gonna go on mute. I don't know who wants to start. Y'all can rock, paper, scissors, or whatever y'all feel, or
I'll go. My name is Lanice Carpenter. I am a cis hetero female. I identify as she and her. I am a teacher, a mother, and a wife, and you can find me on TikTok at sweetpea.osrs, which means on some real shit.
Well, I'll go next. I'm Sunny. On all social media, including my website, you can find me. Everything is Sunny La Luz. I run a advocacy and activism business. That's my personal business. And then I'm an IT program manager, which means I build websites for a living. And I fight for people to get what they need from everybody. So that's me.
Well, I'll go next. Hi, my name is Medusa. Medusa Show Off on all social media platforms. I am a content creator and I specialize in creating content for Black women. I also am a book club moderator. I have a book club that is for Black women. So if you want to join, you can join the Mama Medusa Book Club at Mama Medusa Book Club on Instagram, and Medusa Show Off on all social media platforms. And I just be advocating for Black women, child. So yep, that's me.
Hello, my name is Stephanie. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Ari.
Hi, my name is Ari, also known as Ariel. I am a career coach for a nonprofit career school, and I also do side coaching on, here and there. I'm currently working on my doctoral degree in educational psychology because I just want to give back to our community. And on TikTok, I am Coach Ari Says.
Hello, my name is Stephanie LaShawn on all platforms. I work in the public sector. I work with education, the funding part of it. I'm interested in the conversation because I'm finding out that where I thought alpha males wasn't in my presence, it seems as if they're in my presence. Maybe my father was the first alpha male that I met, but just here to learn more about the subject.
I guess I'll go next. Hi, y'all. I'm Davin. I work in education as well. I am studying to be a project manager currently. I wanted to join the conversation because this is something that is quite near and dear to my heart, seeing that my grandfather did not leave the home. He fought for his family. So I definitely want to give that perspective in this conversation. And yeah, that's why I'm here.
Okay.
Hey
guys.
everybody. Oh, go ahead.
Go.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Serena Lowry on TikTok. I am Metaverse Techie. I guess this will be the first time I've done a format like this before, so I got a little nerves here. Why I want to join the conversation because it's interesting and I like critically thinking about a lot of the stuff that we're going to be dissecting. And I'm also a cloud-based engineer, and I've been doing it been in IT for about 20 years. And talking about this stuff is really interesting. And so I hope to get to know everybody on the panel.
Hey y'all. My name is Amanda. I'm Ms. Anlin Diva 87 across all platforms. I'm just excited to have the opportunity to be back on one of Coco's panels. I really enjoyed being a part of the conversation 2 weeks ago. And so I'm just excited to hear everybody's opinion and just go through the dialogue. And hey, I'm up to learning from everybody that's here and hearing everybody's point of view.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
So thank you, ladies. First for being here. Second for going around letting us know a little bit about you. So let me pull up.
Oh, my bad. I did not go. I'm so sorry.
Girl,
I'm just sitting here listening to everybody else, and I'm like, oh wait, no, I have to do that too. My bad. I'm so sorry. Hello everyone. My name on TikTok is Auntie Noxie, based on Noxima Jackson from To Wong Fu, because that was my favorite character as a child. That's my name on all social media platforms. And what interested me in this conversation is, one, the hypocrisy that the men who use these arguments use. And two, I just like to prove that men are loud and wrong. I don't know what that says about me, but when they're loud and wrong, I'm just like, no, I'm going to point out to you why you're loud and wrong.
I think that's why we're all here. Yeah. Oh, wait, Crystal's joining us. So I'll wait for Crystal to get in and turn her mic on. I also didn't share with y'all the link, just in case y'all wanted to share or hop into the chat. So Crystal, let us know when you can hear us.
I can hear you.
Hey, girl. We just went around, introduced ourselves, let everyone know where they can find us on social media and what interested you in having this conversation.
Well, my name is Crystal Bublin. You can find me at Crystal Bublin across all social media platforms. What was the other thing? Name where they can find you in.
Any current projects or anything else you want to share, and then what interested you in having this conversation?
My current project is just hustling. So y'all see that when y'all see that. Churchy streams on the Kev on Stage app starting this month. So be on the lookout for that. Why did I want to be involved in this? Girl, because I love you. You be spitting. And I want to spit with you.
Y'all, I'm still learning to receive compliments. Maybe one day we'll have to have a conversation about what it is with us and not absorbing praise, but because I'm trying to hold
you better absorb it. We rock with you, babes. We rock with you.
So thank you for fucking with me because I fuck with y'all. So I
gang, baby.
See, y'all, I'm so unprepared. I don't even have my real mic plugged in, but I'm gonna get it plugged in. So hopefully y'all can hear me loud and clear. We're doing pure laptop mic right now.
Right.
So
we can hear you. Girl, I'm doing 4 different things right now because my dumb stuff picked up an extra shift at work. And then I was like, it's the same time as the live stream. So
all right, so we are here tonight. I've gathered us, called us to action to discuss the many things of the manosphere and their talking points. I did a little research, a little digging, because I dabble here and there with the manosphere only when it comes up on my timeline and we're all gathering people, right? I've never actually strolled down the street by myself. I did. I hated it. It's ghetto. So I did find some things, read some articles, found an Etsy shop and a Pinterest board. But we'll get to that a little later. I also found, in conjunction with one of these articles, a glossary of sorts. So it can kind of guide us through anything. So the first things first, we also have to make definitions and all of that. So I wanted to, as we peruse through the conversation, to be on one accord about exactly what the Black manosphere is. And then we can go from there to discuss their talking points, how ridiculous they are, how harmful they are, how much they don't make sense, all those good things that we love to do. So in one of the articles, and again, I'm not coordinated, so I have it printed out, but I forgot to put it up on my screen so I can screen share. But one of the articles that
you got it. You already flashed the paper being highlighted. We believe you.
See, sometimes I don't know when I'm doing too much. Like, is it enough or is it too much?
You going.
Like, do we need to screen share?
No.
So I'll post in the description box on YouTube all the links that I shared in the email. But I'm reading the definition from the Race Bader article entitled "Men of Color Are Creating Their Own Manospheres and Their Misogynistic Violence is Getting Ignored." According to Erin Fontaine in this article, let's see. So the manosphere is an informational online network of websites, blogs, forums, podcasts, and social media personalities, all united by anti-feminism. Do we agree, disagree, want to add, subtract? What do we do? Chop and screw it? You know, I'm here for it.
Can I add to that I want to be real specific, because I don't really, it has to be something that has really irked me in order for me to gather you up real quick and hard as possible in 60 seconds or less. But I want to say that I have noticed an extreme uptick in this happening with Black men towards Black women. I want to be specific because I'm seeing it a lot more, to the degree of I went to my own sons, 27 and 23, and they're like, yeah, that's just not normal. Thank God they know that. But I'm just saying,
so I'll back up the truck. So
I want to be specific.
Correct. So also in this article, he goes into the different men of color groups that have their own section of the manosphere.
Yeah.
But originally, the manosphere was started by white men. And so in the article I pulled that definition from, it kind of went into, as men of color wanted to get into the fold of that, they were kind of ostracized because they didn't remember that although you're bonding over your hatred of women, you're bonding with white men that don't like you because of your race and ethnicity. So I think he defined like the larger manosphere, and then he kind of like went down and funneled a little bit into tailoring what the Black manosphere is. I don't even know about the Latino manosphere and the Indian manosphere. Why do they call themselves curry sales, girl? Listen.
Do you want to know? Because I mean, I'm Taino and Black. I got the lowdown on the why I could give you the Boricua side.
I'll believe it, because for me, and I mean, I feel like we would all agree, like the manosphere popped up with technology, right? Like the sentiments of the manosphere, these are nothing new. This is the reason why women are subjugated to begin with. So, but I don't, you know, like I said, I was just perusing down the street, minding my business, well, being nosy. And I was like, this is ridiculous. So for the overarching manosphere, do we agree on that? And then we're gonna bring it all Black down to Blackness. Okay, so now I will say,
he's into the patriarchy. It's all meant to be
absolutely.
white male dominated and down. That's how I kind of feel the direction that it's been at, and they want to drag us back there.
They definitely are. So we agree on that overarching manosphere definition, and now we're going to blackify it. So that's where we can dip down into all these talking points, because the talking points are really what make the Black manosphere different than the white manosphere. And so I'm trying to find the glossary, because the glossary, this man did his work with putting together this glossary. And so I put a little bit of points on here. I mean, the overarching welfare took Black men out of the home. And then I followed up with some other stuff. But, you know, where do y'all want to start? Do y'all want to start with welfare took Black men out of the home? Like,
please, let's start there.
We have to start there first, because that's
that's one of the
where it
older
started. That was the little snowball.
Yeah, the older stuff, they don't seem to know the history of how we even got to that part. They seem to always start at the welfare part, but they don't want to talk about. And I'm gonna put it out here, because I'm always start with the facts of stuff. The facts of stuff are slaves were not allowed to get married. If they did jump the broom, that slave master, if he wanted the woman, or he would sell off the husband, that's taking the family. That's originally where it started, with removing the Black husband and separating out the families all over the place. That's just me. But I'm happy. I just had to throw that out there. But yes, that welfare thing, it hits all the time. Why are we being attacked? I ain't heard none of us be on welfare. We all employ what?
It has them in a chokehold. It has them in a very serious chokehold. Them today are saying, "Oh, this hadn't happened in the 60s." But I was like, "What year were you born?" 86. Okay, so again, I'm not saying that there were things that didn't happen in the 1960s. I'm saying, did you read?
Yeah.
Because when I first heard about that, I did not know. I was not real well versed. I wasn't even born back then. So I had to go look up research and read things to figure it out. And I'm just like, are you guys having like a town hall to discuss y'all's repetitive talking points that don't make sense? Or are you reading? Because reading is fundamental. Y'all remember y'all used to get them Pizza Hut pizzas for reading? Y'all need to start doing that again. Because they are living on that welfare thing. I had to cut somebody out on Instagram the other day because of it.
But from my understanding, that didn't last for a long period of time. It only lasted for a short period of time. And I've known some individuals that were on welfare. I watched some of the older documentaries, and some of it was a collective decision between the mother and the father. It's not that she kicked them out. It was a thing of, I saw a few documentaries, like construction work was seasonal. So yes, he's able to provide 3 to 4 months, but the rest of the time he's not able to provide for his family. And just because they put him out the house, that don't mean he put him out his child's life.
Exactly.
So I put the link.
Let's talk about that
Coco
for a second.
So what?
That's the part that they always seem to omit. It's like, oh, she put the Black woman put the Black man out of the house. Why did the Black man leave? Like, if both of you are working, or if he's working, you know what I mean? I understand, like you said, construction was seasonally, but then there's jobs you can do off season, because welfare is a very small percentage of the income it takes to feed a family, especially a family with kids. Like, as a single adult, when I had to get some EBT, what they gave me like wasn't enough. You know, like my award one time was like $24 a month. So it's like, you know, they keep saying like, oh, you put him out. Well, why did he leave? You know what I mean?
I looked up that particular case.
Let me go back. Because
I looked up that particular case, and but not the particular case, but that no man in the house, so that you can't get welfare. And AFDC was originally created for widowed women. It wasn't intended to be put into a household with 2 able-bodied adults. Now, some of the things were true. The men, a lot of the Black women that were getting it were widowed because their men were being lynched or killed or in jail. But the case where it really brought it to prominence is they didn't want women who had a man coming in and out of the house who wasn't the father of the children. So it wasn't the dad, it was a single woman where the dad had gone off wherever he is. And so she's having a relationship. The man is coming in and out and they're saying, well, you're a pseudo father, you need to contribute. And the state actually lost the case. The woman got the welfare, but the part of the story that's rarely told is the man that this woman was having sex with was married with 8 of his own children. So he wasn't even in his own house doing what he was supposed to be
Say
doing.
that.
And so then it
I
begs
just
the
learned
question.
something new.
Why?
I feel like I just
Never knew
got
that.
slapped right here in between my forehead.
And this is why Black men have been saying for the past 2 years, we need to go back to the 60s, how our grandparents was, because our grandmother
not all of our grandparents.
no, your grandpa Willie was cheating on your grandma.
Well, actually, and
Yeah.
it said too that the men intentionally after the war, because of the uncertainty, they were intentionally choosing to not marry. They both wanted to have options in case something didn't work out, in case they weren't able to have a job, but they wanted a sense of self. And so they were intentionally not stopping to have babies because they wanted a legacy, but then they didn't want to marry the mother in case they didn't have a job and couldn't provide, and they could just kind of move in and out of the household as they wanted to.
That's what I guess always confused me. This concept of a legacy and the concept of saying you want to build yourself and build your legacy, build your people, but never understanding that marriage is the easiest way to do that. If you have 2 married people, you have a child, you pass it down. Like I stated previously, my grandfather worked his behind off, carried mail when there was no regulation of how heavy a mail could be, and then moved his ranks up and became a DA agent. He never left his family. He worked before leaving his family. And what I guess always confused me is he married one woman, had children by that one woman, and now I have an inheritance. So it's always interesting to talk about a legacy. Children aren't legacies. Businesses are legacies. Homes are legacies.
Right.
I think in our community as a whole, we get so confused by this word legacy because we hear the white people throw it around so much. And it's like their businesses are what the legacy is. The land my grandfather has for me is my legacy.
Exactly. They're thinking it's their name. It's not your name.
Right.
But you're not a king. Like, what is the
Right.
name attached to?
Your name doesn't make you.
It doesn't make, I mean, Johnson isn't doing anything for anybody if it's not attached to Johnson's plantation, Johnson's kingdom. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's just
Johnson,
a name.
Johnson, something.
Right.
Something.
Johnson.
But let me say this part. I think for some men, and this would be this part I could under this one little sliver I could understand as far as the name part is concerned. And no, my 2 sons, they have my last name. We were not married. You don't get that privilege.
Right.
They gonna carry on this legacy right here because my dad only had daughters. But for men, I feel like for Black men, because when it goes far back when they didn't really give us names. So now for men, they're like, yes, I want my son to carry my name. And you got the second, the junior, I'm sorry, they don't call him junior, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. And I'm just like, what are y'all doing? But I could only see that part of it, of wanting to carry on the name, but the rest involves a lot of hard work, a lot of looking in the mirror, and a lot of deciding that y'all are going to respect Black women and go back to, we are not PWCs. We carry our households differently.
Right.
Why do they keep trying to fit into that mold?
I guess that when you
I
talk
think
about
that-
the names,
I was gonna say, because even before we even get to the 60s with the welfare, took the Black men out of the home, 30 years before that, when they were marrying Black women, they were just leaving because they couldn't take care of things and build a legacy. They were just piecing the fuck out.
Yep.
So it's like, at what generation is going to get the message? One, stop trying to fit the build of a white man, because in all your efforts, that's what you're trying to do. Up and down, all this information is just Black men and men of color wanting to hold on to their male privilege that they think benefit them. But it's like, we have to be fucking for real, because history and currently, I don't know where y'all got this legacy thing from, but y'all ain't been building legacies since I don't know when.
I get
So, like, what is the disconnect in the brain? I
here's
don't
my
understand.
thing,
I
right?
just want to say one thing. Can we be honest here? This narrative that, welfare took the black man out the home and the black women chose welfare and food stamps, it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Right.
It's always been bullshit. And I'm tired of it pretending like it's not. Okay, let's call a thing. If you wanted to be involved in your kid's life, you would do what was necessary to do. You would y'all take necessary precautions to be in other people's lives, to play daddy to other people's kids. So how can you not be an actual father, an actual active in your own damn kids' lives? I know plenty of men who are homosexuals who literally stay in a woman's house while the woman goes to work and pays the bills, and he eats up all her food stamps and all this other shit, eating up the kids' snacks and all this other shit. It's not his kids. So if the welfare system didn't keep you out of her house, how the fuck is it keeping you out of your own goddamn house? It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, that shit just.
No, I want us to stop right there, because that's a good point, because I'm gonna go find the part in this article where it really is. I don't even know at this point if it is delusion. I don't know what it is. So let me share the screen
Delusion and
right
audacity.
quick.
That's usually what they show up with.
I don't know if it's delusion or what. Like, I don't understand.
So I'll say,
With
while
a
you're pulling
sprinkle
up the
of
article,
audacity.
So let me.
Oh, she don't pull up the article. Go
got
ahead.
it.
Oh, I
girl.
sure
Yes,
as hell
pull up the
did.
article.
So this is an article, right?
Right.
Okay. This is the.
Yeah,
So
60
I want us
followers.
to go over this. Is this the, or is it a lower than this or higher than this? I don't know. Made it bigger and lost my place. So it's higher than that. Where is it? Other.
Somebody was gonna say something.
Oh, this part right here. When I seen this shit, I was baffled, because how are you blaming Black women for World War I and World War II?
Wait,
How are you blaming us for the downfall of the Black Panther Party when you only allowed one woman out of the entire Black Panther Party to be the president of the Black Panther Party? How are you going to take all this and decide that we are the I'm sorry, the slave rebellion? I'm sorry, nobody heard of Harriet Tubman?
I guess not.
Wow.
Did that just go over people's heads? Did it go over? I mean, what?
Like, what is it? Because it's like, yeah, we can drag and we gonna drag. But the deeper I got, the more concerned I got, because I'm like, how in your logical thinking brain would you concoct any sentiments like this? Like, what part of the game is this?
This sounds like what a white man would say. Personally, I mean, let's just be honest. This is exactly what a white man would say. Blame everybody for their problems.
Like, even if you went to like the most racist school where they really covered up the atrocities of whiteness, right? And you sat in that white man's school and heard this white man, where was Black women in any of that? Like, even if you were just going off of what white men say, they don't even bring us up when they talk about shit like this. Exactly. So why would you bring? Where are the dots?
They don't.
Exactly.
Where are the dots? Like, I'm confused.
That's why I don't even think that a white man would say that. Like, this whole finding a way to always blame Black women for your problems, blaming Black women for the reason why your daddy went and left you. To me, I feel like that's exclusive to niggas. Only niggas do shit like that. I'm sorry, like, I've never heard a white man or a non-Black man make that excuse. I haven't. So
maybe usually when it comes to that, it's usually they're talking about their own wars.
So they may blame their own women.
Yeah.
But not collectively. They don't blame just like their women collectively. That's only in my experience. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've never heard anybody else do that except for our men.
They're not holding town halls and they're not getting on Jeff Bezos plantation.com and buying up all the microphones to be able to yell, scream, hoop, and holler over Beyonce Giselle Knowles called the internet with this bull, because that's exactly what it is. It is a bunch of mess. And then when you start asking questions Like, so why do you feel that way? Well, y'all are difficult. Nope, nope, nope. That ain't the question
I'm
that you
so
were
tired
asked.
of that narrative too. Oh my gosh.
You're so
Because
Let me be
difficult.
we have
difficult. That means you're not the
standards.
man for me if I'm difficult.
I'm sorry,
I'm
Miss Annalyn. I'll let you finish. I interrupt you.
But I just seen a video on TikTok where Cynthia G was doing what Cynthia G does. And she was asking the man, he was like, you said that you like the way your biracial children look. So that's your preference. That's what you want to do. Does that make you look anti-Black? I didn't say that. You're trying to argue. She said, no. I'm just repeating back what you said. They don't even know. So even when you hear certain comments in reference to Black women, it's like, excuse me, if I'm not what you want, if I am 2 shades of brown past what your requirements is, and my edges ain't thick enough for you, and my lips too big, and I'm a little bit too fat around the waist, baby, you ain't got to pick me. I'm not trying to make you pick me, but go pick who your preference is. And I just can't equate why they won't just go get the women they say they want. If we're not it,
and
go.
leave the other women that's not the preference alone. And let me say this as a person that is biracial. My mom is, Boricua, my dad is Boricua and Black. I get the other half. I get the part of she talk white enough and she light enough. You don't understand that I'm the most pro-Black woman you could ever meet because I got 2 Black sons and I play no games. But I'm insulted when men come in my direction with the opposite.
Can't stand it.
That's
Can't
not cool. That's not cool either. I don't like the dissing of any of our Black women. I don't care who they are, but the colorism part that comes with that, if there's a pain point and it's meant to have us go like this, I refuse. Like if I see, I just did something on Viola Davis, I refuse.
So do you feel like they approach you based on like the colorism aspect and you are lighter skin? Do you feel like they approach you almost expecting for you to automatically be submissive?
Like I had that until they start talking to me and they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that you're not as submissive as they think you are based off of your skin color. Wow.
And I'm sitting here like, my mom's not white. I don't know what that lifestyle is like. And I'm 44, I'm not 23. I built a whole life, a table, everything else. I raised 2 kids. I'm a grandparent. You're not going to be able to get me to feed into what you think a Black man and a Black woman relationship should be, because you're listening to all these echoes in the atmosphere instead of really digging into what would benefit Black women and Black men coming together, because that ain't it.
Being of a lighter complexion, there's been many times within like the first second, oh, we can make pretty light skinned babies. Oh, you have, and they'll like, even my body type, oh, you got a fat butt. Like they'll just definitely pick me apart. And I have to break down, like, you don't like me as a person. You like what I can offer to you. You think I can fit the stereotype because I do like to bake. Or I personally, I love Lucy. I love everything vintage. That's just who I am as a person. Can I fit and assimilate into white society? Yes. But I'm gonna let you know right now, I hurt their feelings like I'll hurt yours. Yep, and so it hurts them every time because I'm not going to assimilate for you. Because half the time it's this, well, dark skinned women can't stand you. I don't have issues with dark skinned women. I don't. I've never had an issue with dark skinned women. And if we do, we chop it up together and we dead it. It's very simple. We're fine. It's just like, it's almost like you want us to come together and hate each other. So you have something to pick apart, because who you really hate is your mother. When you tell you what you really want is your mother to pick better. What you really want is your mother to look the way you want to look and have that stereotypical 50s family. That's what you wanted your mother to do. And instead of you blaming your father for leaving, what you're trying to do is pick the molds and pick me because you're trying to mammify me because your mother didn't give you what she needed to give you because your dad left. Is what I've experienced.
Well, damn. So since we're talking about the obsession with white men, let's talk about their obsession, which is like real. I was reading this. It was just giving me vibes. I mean, we've talked about this before. We all know obviously you're obsessed with Black women because you can't keep us the fuck out of your mouths, right?
Right.
But I was just like, when you sit and think about everything they talk about, everything that they do, everything that they try to change themselves to be, it's also they can get the attention of Black women. And so
I think they want the
um,
attention of Black women. I was having a conversation with a man named Mr. James, and he came into a space with 2 Black women. And ultimately, he slipped up and he said his reason he came in was he wanted to be heard. I think a lot of them just want to be heard and they don't know how to go about it, and they don't know how to ask people to listen to them.
But how's that our problem though? I don't need to get into problem with therapy and some communication coaches.
Don't bring up therapy, Coco. Don't do that. That is very triggering.
I think that's what it is.
Don't hit
Very
me because I know
triggering.
y'all tussle. Okay, don't.
They love
But
to
let me
tussle.
say this: why is it that we as Black women we will put out there that we have gone to therapy and it has served us well, or we've gone to talk to someone and it has served us well? We're saying, there's no judgment, just go take care of yourself. It's going to make you a better person. It's going to help you, and it's going to help your perspective in life and work through things. Instead, y'all want to come, well, you think you're going to walk over and dump all over Black women. No, you're not. No, you're not.
I think it's really like, I really think it's that their misogyny. Their misogyny has them hating women so much that, of course, they don't see us as human. So even if we're making sense and saying things that would benefit them, speak life into your Black man, they're not going to listen because their cognitive dissonance will not allow them to register that a human being with some fucking sense is trying to talk some sense to them.
Why are you
like,
speaking
I don't
the thing about them saying like, we want to be heard, and then you'd be like, okay, well, speak your mind. But then it's always like disrespectful and degrading the Black women. Like, what makes you think anybody wants to listen to that? Like, my thing with like all these platforms, the manosphere platforms or whatever, because they all say, oh, these platforms are here to help us, and da 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 da. But the only thing they're talking to you about is your interaction with women. And how small is your life that your whole value or the whole makeup of your life is based on your dating relationships? You know what I'm saying? Because there's careers, there's children, there's education, there's family, there's so many other things that go on in this world. You don't have hobbies besides women. You don't
go with me.
Dating besides women. They never give them like resources. Like Megan Thee Stallion just did that website. Bad bitches have bad days too, where she posted like a bunch of mental health resources. Like I've never seen a Kevin Samuels. I've never seen like any of these guys talk about like, hey, check out therapyforblackmen.com. Check out mychildcallsmedaddy.com. And listen, for the men that are listening, I just gave you 2 websites to check. I gave you more resources than the Andrew Tates of the world and the Moseses and all that. Like,
Jesus.
They never like
every time I see them, every new page.
Every time. Because Moses is triggering.
Right? Go with me, right? I think they have allowed themselves to believe for so long the promises of patriarchy that they just somehow have bought into this. All they really have to offer is their physical body. When they talk about jobs, even, they say, well, since it became so technological, Black men got left behind because we're so physical, we have physical jobs. They place so much into their desirability as a fetishized body that all they have to think and correlate to success for them is sexual obtainment, which is also a part of the greater manosphere, but in other demographics, they're not talking specifically about bedding Black women or bedding their own women. So they have bought into this belief system. All they have to share is their body. So when it comes down to fighting for what they think their rights are, what their rights should be, they're only fighting for sex. And all of these articles and all of we can go over the glossary in a little bit. Everything that's derogatory, everything that they want to focus on always relates back to the women they are not fucking and that they want to fuck, but they can't for whatever reason.
Most of them are not
So they
even
try
stressed
to degrade us based off of our body and our physicality. They say our education doesn't matter because they're not worried about education. They're only worried about their physical specimen and being the most desirable when it comes to sex.
But
they
most of
don't
them are
think
doing
about
sex
anything
work.
else. They don't think about anything else. They just aspire to being a sex symbol.
I want to say there are Black men that make content, you know, like I'm sorry, I don't know who it was. I think it was Annalyn that was talking, or who was talking about, like, you know, your mental health. Even Kevin Samuels, before he blew up, he was making content about, you know, his mental health. However, those videos don't go viral. It wasn't until he was degrading a fat Black dark-skinned woman that's when he started getting millions and millions of views, because him uplifting Black men or Black women, that's not going to get the views. And as a content creator, I can speak to that. If I make a video talking about, yes, Black women, come here, my sister, it's not going to do nothing. But if I say, you know, fuck these niggas and put that as the caption or whatever, like that is what gets the views. So not to make excuses for Black men or whatever, but I think that a lot of times, a lot of these Black men are rewarded for bad behavior. And I hate that, you know, the small, very small, minuscule collective of Black men that are making content for us, we don't watch them. They don't get no play. I just want to put that out there.
I mean, I
there
definitely
are
know
a
that
lot of
there are
Black
men
men.
that are for mentoring other men, but I wouldn't lump them into the manosphere.
No, they're not a part of the manosphere.
No.
But
Because there
Not at
are a
all.
lot of good men, like good, decent content creators that try to combat what is going on in the manosphere. But those are the ones that are normally say that pandering to Black women, they're calling them
They're
simps.
simps.
And they're the ones that's pushing like emotional intelligence and tapping into other things outside of your physical and sexual nature. Because a man and a Black man is so much more than that. But it's like they don't want to step out of that box and explore that because they're afraid of what everybody else will say about them.
Right. I have something that I wanted to bring up, because we did touch a little bit on like mental health and how Black men tend to not go get mental health. One of my favorite books that I read during the pandemic was What Happened to You, the book that Oprah did with Dr. Bruce D. Perry. And one thing that he said was pretty much comparing how our minds are wired to a house that was done in a not in a good state, for lack of better words. And he was pretty much saying that sometimes it looks good, but the inside, the wirings are all off. And that's what is going on with a lot of people in our community in general, because the way that their lives have been set for them came from years and years and generations of trauma. Some of us are catching the fact that we dealt with trauma and we're going through the steps that we need to take. And some of them are still living in that mindset that grandma used to say, what happens in this house stays in this house. And they feel like, I look good on the outside. Who cares about what the wirings look like? They can deal with that if they want to deal with me. But no one has to deal with you not being mentally sound in order to say that they have you as their partner. And I think a lot of them miss out on that. They think that we're trying to make fun of them, but in reality, we're trying to be helpful. We're trying to help them and trying to get them on the same page, but their wiring is so messed up and they think everything is fine when it really isn't.
Yeah.
Well, they think everything is an attack. They think a lot of it is an attack. When you bring up patterns, that you're seeing repetitively on multiple occasions, they feel like it is an attack. I think I watched a live where one guy literally was talking to a larger content creator, a female, who she was actively in therapy. She was, telling him like, hey, therapy isn't just something that's going to fix you overnight. It like takes time, and you got to learn coping mechanisms. And his reply was like, well, if you can't process your own life, why would you always go to somebody else? And she was like, I'm not going to therapy to request for them to fix all my problems. However, if there's something that I need to work through, I can learn the coping skills to work through said situations. It doesn't mean I'm going to stay in therapy for the rest of my life. And then this man was like, well, I just don't see the need for why we should go to therapy. Okay, so you don't feel like there's nothing wrong that you can work towards, no intrusive thoughts, no just out like rage that you can't identify where it's coming from, like nothing. And he's like, well, I just feel like y'all say therapy to gaslight us. And I'm like, she hadn't said not a word about that at all.
I'm so tired of this word gaslight.
That's not what
don't
it
they
means.
gaslight us like to go to the gym?
Like we use
the
this
time.
language that we really don't know because we see white content creators use this language and we're like, oh, someone hurt my feelings, they're gaslighting me. When in reality, if the person was really doing a good job gaslighting you,
you wouldn't
wouldn't even know that you're being put in that situation.
Yeah,
I just find it interesting that they think therapy is gaslighting, but they will forever say, if let you be a little bit chubby, you need to go to the gym. Ooh. Yeah, I need to fix my physical appearance. You need to fix your mental appearance. That's it.
Amen.
Simple. I don't understand why you can't correlate. You understand that I'm overweight, so I need to go to the gym to lose weight. That you can understand. But when I say, hey, you throwing a fit at 55 because someone wouldn't give you your phone number, there's something down there that you need to fix. Maybe get your mind right. Nah, I'm good. I don't need that.
I also think that it starts.
How can you not correlate that?
I think a lot of men don't understand that they're using anger because it's the easiest emotion to have versus just actually just out.
They don't even
acknowledge
it's an emotion.
Like they don't even acknowledge anger as an emotion.
Oh, that's what I mean. They're so fixed on that mode.
Unless they're talking about us.
Right.
Then they'll be like, oh, you're angry, you're emotional. And it's like, you can't recognize that in you. You definitely need to see somebody.
They can.
And
understand.
also, I really wish we had never let them get a hold of narrative, comprehension, and gaslight, because they just trample those poor little words and those meanings. They'd be like, oh, it doesn't fit your narrative. Like, I'm not writing a novel.
Right.
I'm telling you my life experience, or I'm answering your question. I asked, and it's funny when you say like about how like kind of basically like white men started the manosphere. There's a video going around TikTok now where this guy is talking about how white women run the Black community because Black women are following the white women. But it's like,
since we
like.
I don't know.
But it's like the manosphere.
Never.
Not when we're the most educated.
The manosphere is that exact thing. The manosphere is them trying to attain the power, the level of, quote unquote, for lack of a better word, respect that white men have. There's a show on Netflix called Web of Make Believe. It's either Web of Make Believe and Web of Lies. And one episode, Web of Lies, they talk about the alt-right.
Yep.
And in this episode, it's just all white people. They're talking about the alt-right. But one of the things that I picked up on it, because one of the women they interviewed, her boyfriend was an alt-right dude and he was abusing her and all that. But all the talk about women were these same talking points that these manosphere guys are saying, the femininity, the cooking, the cleaning, the da-da. And like, I was watching it and I was like, oh my God, like this is where they're getting it from. So, to say that it's almost like the twin Spider-Man thing, like they're pointing fingers at us, but we're like, no, honey, it's really you. This is really you trying to do
weird
that thing.
Obsession with cooking and cleaning. That is a basic life skill. Like, is your apartment dirty? Is that what you're saying? Are you eating Hungry Man?
So they're not eating. y'all just not eating. Y'all not eating. Y'all not.
I'm just so confused. That always confused me.
I'm gonna tell you.
If you need a
commercial,
maid, just say that.
No, but you
for
know,
25 cents a day, you can feed a manosphere man. Like
it's the women in their lives that are upholding that outdated ass narrative too. Their mama telling them, oh, you know, my son, he need to bring a woman that knows how to cook and clean. It's the mamas. It's within, especially within the African diaspora. It's not just Black Americans. Let's not talk about them Nigerians. Let's not talk about them Jamaicans. They be telling them like, I want you to cater to my son. They want raising their sons to be subservient, and they want the women to adhere to all their inadequacies. So, and let's not talk about the women who are still having babies with these men. There are women who are having babies with men in the manosphere. And so they also enable that bad behavior as well. It stinks. It's giving musty dick energy. Like,
okay, so let's put a pin in that. I want to come back to the conversation about women in the diaspora and other foreign women when we get to the passport bro conversation. So while we get to the passport bro conversation, I wanted to go over this glossary. I thought it was a great resource because there was a lot of things I had never heard of. So I wanted to peruse and scroll and get your knee-jerk reactions to some of the terms and their definitions. Let's start with Black female fuckery. Okay, it's a phrase coined by whoever this person is that refers to his belief that Black women exhibit unflattering behaviors that are unique compared to women of other races and ethnicities.
Oh my God.
First of all,
reactions to that.
First of all, if your middle name is Obsidian,
it was fuckery, period.
Well, first of all, Obsidian, listen. That's some Black male fuckery right there. Obsidian. Right. You know his name is like Joseph Cantor.
Jamal.
Right. Joseph Jamal. Yes.
Brian Demetri. Not been around women of other races. I was raised around white women. And that passive aggressive
all the way
fuckery that they talk about will get you unalived. Like it is very much so passive aggressive. It is very much so I'm going to get what I want by crying. I find it very interesting that they use that to talk about us, that other women don't do that of other races. They do.
Because they sexualize it when other women do it. If I'm cussing you out, it's a problem. But when Maria is cussing you out, it's
spicy.
I hate that. Spicy. I'm not gonna lie. As a Boricua woman, when I have Black men that are like, yeah, so you speak Spanish. First of all, we were colonized by Spaniards and by Italian people. Spanish ain't even my native, quite frankly, but don't throw me in that box. No, I don't speak Spanish. And at one point I started saying, do you speak African? That's about how dumb you sound when you come to me with that damn question. I hate it. I hate it. It's not spicy. I'm pissed the fuck off. You should run.
And it's like also like, do you know Spanish comes from Spain?
Right.
And Spain is in Europe.
Right.
So like, what is this spice? Like, you do know the spicy came from the people of color that were there, right? Like they got all the spice and kept the white man's language. I don't understand. What's
I just think it's funny. I'm sorry. I just think it's funny when they demonize, Black women, but then you go and impregnate Evelyn Lozada. Evelyn Lozada is disrespectful, emasculating Black women on this earth. But y'all love that shit.
Y'all better talk about Evelyn. You better use
her. It's amazing because we're on season 14 of 90 Day Fiance.
Oh,
and
Lord.
It's like, men will sit up here and be like, oh, those reality shows are stupid. But literally 90 Day Fiance is fortune telling for the passport boys. Right. Like that is a look.
No, I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I disagree. I disagree that 90 Day Fiance is the future of the passport bros. You have to have money for the K1 visa. They do not have enough money.
Come
for
on,
the
part.
girl. Talk about
Here's the
it.
ball
They
game.
But
gonna do-
listen, but listen, there are, and usually it's the black, and well, there's a few black men on there, but every time that a man has said, I'm going to get a woman from another country because American women don't this, that, and the third, that woman from the other country has ran them down every time without fail. Now, the guys that don't say that are just like, oh, I was on vacation and I met this woman and we fell in love and da da da, those go fine. But every single one of those American men who have been like, well, I need a woman from another country and I don't mess with da 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 da, especially the black ones like Caesar, Lord have mercy.
He got.
They
Let's
get
just talk
running
about the
to the
passport bros. Let's just
ground.
go ahead. Let's just go ahead and talk about the passport bros, because I think the one thing that irks me about the passport bros
Everything.
is that, well, yeah. And I guess it always comes back to for me the not being smart part. It's like, I want you to understand the reason why these women that you're chasing can be those traditional quote unquote women is because the countries that they live in have been colonized.
Yep.
And they're behind the times of black women because their men still uphold patriarchy with an iron fist.
Including
the reason why
financial.
they expect to be housewives is because it's what they've been taught. And along with being a housewife, you know, a woman that stays home, caters to you, cooks and cleans, takes care of the children, presses your underwear and packs your lunch and rubs your back and your feet and shit, is because they're hypergamous. So you're going over there with your $50, which converts into 5,000, whatever over there, which is a lot of fucking money. But when you come back home, you're still poor.
Broke.
Exactly.
Right.
And
So
if you
for
confuse
those women, you either have to stay over there and maintain your American job to maintain your illusion and delusion of wealth, or you can refer to 90 Day Fiance when you ball out and try to portray yourself as a millionaire over there, bring her back here. She gonna realize I didn't move from my poor country to come to America to be poor.
Yeah.
Like, where's the disconnect? I'm confused.
And all that.
My main problem with the passport boys is that they're not gone yet. Like, we need to start a GoFundMe for their Ubers to the airport.
First off, they spent all their money to get the passport. That's what you're not understanding. They're
never still saving.
Not the $100.
They don't even know where to go to take their picture.
And it's never expedited. They never do the expedited passport.
They don't even know
they
how
do the regular one. That's $160.
Matter of fact,
my
they don't
biggest
even have
concern-
the birth certificate they need in order to even start the process.
Well, they still got to call their mamas to get the birth certificate.
Right.
My biggest concern for the passport bros are when they start talking about the age of consent. And I've made many videos on my TikTok.
Quiet as it's kept, that is one of the major reasons they are going over there.
And honestly, when I said that, and women have said like, "Oh, let them go," I'm like, "Whoa, you're not hearing the quiet part. The quiet part, they're going over there, and they keep saying it, 21 to 25. The only reason why they're not messing with 18-year-olds over here or 17-year-olds over here because it's not legal, but it is legal over there. And let's just talk about how they're talking about grooming kids here. They're 70% of little black girls are touched. Let's just talk about that. So if it's legal over there,
they are going over there again to be like white men, which again, they don't understand. Everything you're doing has been done and decades before. So what you're doing, we have information on because the white folk have been tracking it for the white folk. So they understand when people repeatedly go to these certain countries over and over and over consistently, they know they're going over there for sex tourism.
They're
not going over there to find actual wives. They're going over there to pay women to not even women for the most part.
Children.
To be honest. Children of all genders, male, female, intersex, all of that. They're paying for. They're going over there to be pedophiles.
Yeah. And the other part that they seem to forget is that anti-blackness is everywhere.
Everywhere.
You think so when you get hit for human trafficking or sex trafficking in Thailand or and you're in a Laotian prison. That's very different from over here. And the fact that you think that y'all are gonna do this, like I said, they keep making these TikTok videos. Like, this is just evidence. I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts, and I firmly believe that in like 5 years, there's gonna be a bunch of true crime podcasts about the Passport Bros, and they're gonna be referencing their TikTok videos and their YouTube channels.
How they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Absolutely,
that, right? This article at the very end referenced this. So there's this one guy who apparently, I don't know why he was in the manosphere looking for actual support. We'll talk about that later. So if y'all can pause to read, well, not it'll be paused for y'all out there to read in the YouTube verse. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not on TikTok. I'm sorry. So basically, paraphrasing, this guy noticed that there are a lot of Black men promoting, going to be passport bros. And so he was like, well, let me make a video to let them know some of the risks you run by going to these foreign countries. This man got dragged for it incessantly for 3 months. They were dragging this man, telling them, here are some of the risks of you going to different countries. Here's how not to get caught up. So they're not even smart enough to listen to their own men that are saying,
they don't never want to
hey,
hear that.
Be safe. Hey, protect yourself. So not only are you, you know what? I don't even want to go over all this because
but you can't tell somebody something. You can't tell somebody something that refuses to listen. And at this particular point, I had made a comment on my TikTok where I was like, listen, if y'all want to stay on the mental plantation, stay there. But when we decide to put everything up in flames, unfortunately, y'all and the pygmies gotta go. Go. Y'all
are not coming. Y'all not coming with us. We're not. I have seen. What I appreciate seeing is there are a lot of Black women who are just like, you know what?
You want to go ahead.
Go over there, and I'm gonna be here doing me, living my life. I'm not dealing with none of this. I would rather stay single than deal with the fuckery that y'all are throwing our way. We will stay single. It doesn't say gay. It doesn't say, even if you wanted to be, that's your choice. My thing is, Black women are saying, and I'm just gonna say all Black femme presenting are all saying, no, go away. Yeah. I'll go over here, do my own thing, go away. You would think the shoeing part would help them realize, because there's a lot of successful women that are like, kick rocks with no shoes on, go, bye.
No, they're waiting for us to change our minds and go chase them.
Yeah, because somebody did access to us. Yeah. That's the problem.
It's so hilarious to watch because they're like,
we're gonna leave.
Yeah, like that whole thing. We're gonna leave, and we're like, okay, fine. And it's like, if it's at the point where women are just like, no, I'd just rather be alone. I just like Black women, typically we are raised to like, just date within our race. And for a lot of us at this point, it's like, you know what? I don't want to date outside of my race because that, the racism that comes with that. But I don't want to date within my race because of the BS that's come with that. You know what? I'd rather just not do it at all. Like women are literally being like, I'd rather
too many times.
They don't even want to engage in sex with them. That's how bad some of this is.
Right.
Some of them are like, no, I can purchase stuff and be good. I'm like, that's how bad it is. And I'm like, y'all still not catching the memo yet?
That's what angers them more, because they feel like they should have.
They feel like we should be chasing them.
Exactly.
They're very upset.
Or it's just like, how dare you not want to have sex with me? Like, that argument that some Black men that were interested in anime had, where they're just like, oh, well, I don't date Black women because none of the Black girls in high school used to like me. It's like, no.
Lies. There were some fine nerds in my school.
Listen, I am a fine ass nerd. And it's like, it has nothing to do with the fact that
we just need to get out of the concept that Black women like thugs, Black women like street boys, dope boys. I would never, like I said, my grandfather is an ex-DEA agent. There's no way I'm bringing a dope boy to my grandfather's house. I have literally never.
I'm sorry.
I went to my grandfather's house.
No.
Yeah, like there's no way. It's just this concept, like they don't want good boys, they don't want gamers. Are you serious? Like no one is,
but
no one is not wanting a gamer.
There is a
And you know what?
Black women that be on that type of time though. As someone who is in
Just
like, come on.
And their mothers, not us.
Not nobody here, no intellectual Black women, but there are some Black women.
No, I'm gonna help myself now. I'm a
Coco.
You're what?
Do we need to have a come to Jesus moment?
Wait for her to
know
get it
what?
out.
The lies.
Get it out.
You know what? The thing too is that you can't even say like the gamers or the nerds, because the gamers or the nerds, baby, they be the Jeffrey Dahmers.
They be hoes too.
They be the
Baby hoes too.
They be wanting to do the weirdest shit. Like I dated a complete blurred, and came to find out that his thing was he had a rape fetish.
Ooh,
And
Jesus.
Not on the consensual non-consent thing, on the I want to have sex with an unconscious woman so she can't tell me no. That was his reasoning.
listen.
Ew.
Whoa.
No.
Hold on, listen. So I'm gonna pivot from that because we're gonna go back into the glossary. So one of the things I was picking up on from our conversation just now is that, and I connected with this glossary especially, the manosphere seems to live and die in stereotypes. Like no one is a human, no one has a very personality or a sense of self. And so one of the things that they, first of all, I don't even, this for me, this bothers me. Like I can't stop there though. I can't rest there.
Wow.
But so I wanted to focus on this for a moment. It is very much disgusting. It is very much disgusting.
That before. That's gross.
Wait a minute. Wait.
So there are a few
You read it right.
like that
Hold
for
on, Coco, go back.
different.
I read slow. Hold on.
Which
What did I
one?
say? Wait a minute.
But you know, they always say that. They always say we want rappers and thugs and bad boys. They say that all the time.
So I want to go back to this. I want to go
they're
back
the
to the
nice
Pookies
guy.
and Ray Rays, right? So the definition that this person wrote for Pookie and Ray Ray is a popular slang term for African American culture to describe men with thuggish and degrading behaviors. The Black manosphere dogma insists that Black women, regardless of class, status, sexually, and romantically desire these men. So
no, we don't.
My thing is, right?
Yo,
I don't like his editing.
Hold on.
I don't like his editing.
Hold on. I don't either, but it's okay. We'll let him have it. So here's my issue with this conversation about the educated lame, and I'll go up to, I think they have that definition here, and the Pookie versus the Pookie and Ray Ray, right? So when we're having these conversations about the manosphere and these terms that they use for the issues in the Black community when it comes to men particularly, it's always stereotypical, right? It's either the Pookies and the Ray Rays are the ones causing the destruction in the community. They're taking over, and the educated lambs are just as bad because they're not. I don't even know.
So they don't even want to be smart.
No, they don't.
So my question is,
so
so I'm confused in the sense that, one,
oh my God,
if you're in the manosphere, do you think that there's a different third stereotype that you're a part of? Secondly, so who's if both of them are the problem, where's the group of men that's supposed to fix the problem?
The ones that yell, not all men.
It's the
and thirdly, how do we again default back to the women are the problem? So
because they can't be the problem because they blame us for them. Because a lot of unfortunately, I have had conversations with men who are deeply rooted in the manosphere.
Oh Jesus!
And yeah, it's
more patience than me.
It is a rough. Well, you know what?
Dick policing is hilarious.
Unfortunately, one of these young men is very close to me and very near and dear to my heart. So I'm trying to steer him away from the dark side. But it's very much I'm a nice guy and I see women, or I've seen girls since high school pick the wrong guys and like guys that'll do them dirty and all this other stuff.
They're
And
children.
I'm a nice guy, and I'm just like, you have
That's
to
the other
But
thing.
what makes him a nice
You
guy?
brought up
Nice
a
guy,
good-
right?
if you
What
have
makes him a
to
nice
brought up
guy?
a good
say
point,
something,
though.
you're not that. Like, if you're a nice guy, we're gonna be able to tell you're a nice guy.
Mhm.
No
But if
such
you
thing
gotta
as a nice
behavior,
guy.
exactly.
You can be a guy that is nice, but there is no such thing as a nice guy.
Yes. Simple.
Mm.
All these niggas be lying.
Basically,
All of them.
yeah, yeah.
I just think
All
as a
of them will
collective, this
lie.
concept of being nice or being a good guy is that I don't put my hands on you. Like I've seen
Thank
other
you
men
for saying
do.
that.
Yeah, it's
I
such
don't-
a-
I don't-
Ours is
I don't
not-
care
it is very
about-
much bare minimum behavior.
as long as I
That's
do
it.
the minimum, I'm a nice
And
guy.
I don't
That's
put
it.
my
Right.
hands
I'm about to say, I acknowledge your presence. Like that's, I mean, that is the bare minimum. And I think a lot of us, even sadly, the Pygmishas don't understand you deserve more than the bare minimum. Like what your mother received, it wasn't good enough. And
It
you
wasn't
copying
good
it and try to
enough.
reproduce it is the problem. You being a good guy because you didn't swing on your mom like her boyfriend did. That doesn't mean you deserve my time. It doesn't mean I have to give it to you.
Right.
And I think that's the confusion and the disconnect there.
A lot
Like,
of,
They
and they don't
also
even.
forget that you have to be a likable human being.
No, they don't.
Your
They
whole
don't feel like they
personality
feel
is
like
just to get punani. Then you haven't developed who you are and your interests and your dislikes.
Or just
and
buy
your-
punani.
Why the fuck would I want to waste my time with you?
That part.
Buy- they have all these devices they could buy. I don't
Yeah,
get
they
it.
got good stuff.
The funny
got
thing
good
about
devices
it,
now.
the funny thing about this is, I'm reading that definition that you just had.
My bad.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. The good black man. And just because you've never been incarcerated,
Girls
doesn't
say
mean
it.
that you are a good black man. That means you're a man that never been
You
incarcerated.
never got locked
Right,
up.
you
for
never
your
broke
You
man.
the
never
law.
got in trouble, or
Still
you
be
never
an
got
No, you
caught
never got
doing
caught.
the thing
Right.
that you did. Do you
I
know
think
how
that's the
many
thing that
men
gets
are
me
out here?
lost.
Right.
I want to speak to that. Again, I live in Philadelphia, and there are not a lot. It's the pickings are very slim. My fiance, he is on one of 7, and most of the men in his family have been in jail. And so you have to look at it from that context. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Like, yes, you haven't been in jail, that'll make you a good black man. But when the majority, like when your whole surroundings is in jail and you're the only one that didn't, and then God forbid you actually have a degree, it's like, oh my God, like, and I hate that we as black women applaud or just the black community applauds black men for doing what they're supposed
Mediocrity.
to. Yeah, for doing what they're supposed to do. But at the same
But
time,
I think it's because so many don't
right.
try. They don't put it forth the effort. And here we are putting forth a lot of effort
Right.
in a lot of different ways, from family life to having careers to being business owners and stuff like that. We're putting it out there, and it's not to degrade black women, black men. It's like, join us, but we're not going to deal with shit just because you do the minimum. And I wanted to add the pandering. There are a group of black men that get on so many different social media sites. If Derek Jackson don't go sit his ass down with trying to recover from the
Listen,
Oh,
like we didn't
Jesus.
forget, Derek. We didn't forget these new
Not at all.
because
okay,
I
we
lit
didn't forget.
that up. I lit that up the other day. I was like, no, we not. Have a seat.
Where's your
and
wife
he
and
had
her
been
bottle
with
of salvation? Go sit down.
and the fact that they have been together since college. When
Black
I found
men.
that part out, I was like, now you know. But there are a set of black men that do specifically, their pandering is to get the attention of black women. They're on the screen with no shirt on or some fitted shirt on or whatever. And they're trying to get the attention of black women by saying, you know, good black men, you know, they don't want a woman to have to do this and have, but they're saying the same exact thing, just in a different
tone.
way. In a different tone. There was a guy I saw that was like, yeah, she want to be able to ease her mind and take care of her man and take care of her kids. And then
That's not my
she
goal.
go off. And I just was like, Wait
They
a
don't
minute.
talk to women.
That to me tells me two things.
They don't speak to
Well,
real
maybe a
women.
few things. But the top two is that one, people don't know the difference between when something is patriarchal and when something's misogynistic. And two,
Yeah.
Black women are desperate for the promise of patriarchy just as much as Black men are. Because when you listen to Derek Jackson, it's like, yeah, he may not be belittling you. Maybe he's not talking down to you. He's making you feel good. He looks attractive. He talks smooth. But when you listen to the words that he is saying, it is patriarchal. And intrinsic in patriarchy is that women are below men. So I don't care how good you dress up. I'm not signing up and following you to my subjugation.
No.
But I don't think a lot of us women understand that they can sound good and make
They
it
can
feel
sound good,
but it's not good.
No, it's not good. And I'm gonna go ahead and add all of those ones like Derek Jackson. What's another one? It's a guy with long locks. I'm trying to let me say this. None of them, if you look them up, have the credentials to even be talking about what they're talking about. You got zero credentials.
But
you can help me in relationships, zero.
But that's the thing with me being a coach. I actually earned my degree to call myself a coach. But a lot of coaches out here, they get to say coach because there's nothing federally mandated that says, hey, in order to be a coach, you have to do this. Do they have it out there that you can be certified in it? Yes. However, you can be certified in doing a lot of things that don't really mean much of nothing. And so they think by throwing dating coach or relationship coach out there that they are the end all be all. And it's like, you're not even in a relationship yourself. So as a person that
or your
is in a
relationship is all, or you blew it up because you cheated, got caught, and your wife, who at some point in time turned to baby Jesus, and now that ain't your type no more. So instead of you deciding, I'm gonna end this peacefully, quietly, you gonna go through all this stuff so you can come back looking at all the pictures are ick. They all like, she looks uncomfortable and he's trying to look like, I love my wife. And now I can start talking. No, the hell you can't. Sit down, sir. Shut up.
That's just like Kevin Hart when he calls his wife his rib. Oh, she's my rib. I'm like,
Aniko, all of a sudden she is.
I'm like,
all of a sudden she's his rib. How?
She's been saying that for a while now. You've been saying that for a while now.
Yeah, that's my rib. That's my rib. He cheated on her.
I don't feel bad for her. But I don't feel bad for her because he cheated on his last wife and she was fully aware of it. And some of these light-skinned, half-black, non-black women, they take pride in getting with black men, knowing that and seeing them mistreat black women. But then they think that because they are fair-skinned, that they are
and that's
like
I need all women, but especially black women, to hang on to what she just said. How a man talks to any woman is how he will talk to you.
Yes.
I don't care how pretty you are, how light skinned you are, how curly your hair is, how fat your ass is, how snatched you got that coochie. I don't care if you got him the God 10,000. If he ain't gonna act right, he ain't gonna act right. And if he
don't matter,
women gonna disrespect you, and that's just on period.
And can I add? If he does not respect black women, the woman that he came from, he's not going to respect your non-black ass.
He's not. Somebody get Clarence all on the phone. She needs to hear this. Somebody.
Sin Santana is a prime example of that. Sin Santana from Love and Hip Hop is a prime example of that. When she had so much to say about how men treat her like this, that, and the third because she not black, and then she gonna go procreate with Joe Budden's ass. Like, come on now.
After he just came out about him, because we got to get on his head if we gonna talk about him.
Who just came out as bi.
What about the one that got her teeth knocked out her mouth? The one that got
her teeth knocked out her mouth.
Emily, you talking about?
You're talking about Emily?
Yeah, how Fab knocked her teeth out her head. She had to go get dental surgery.
After he didn't claim her for years.
Fab didn't even claim her. Fab didn't.
Oh, Fab! Now
he did not claim her.
And he
never.
Let me say this. I feel like there are some Black women who are desperate and really want that connection with a Black man, that we watch women just lower their standards and continue to lower them. Like they get them while they're here, and then the man starts slowly lowering. And so she's slowly dropping, and they stay for all of it. They have multiple kids with them. They allow themselves to be disrespected. Yeah, he knocked her tooth out. They go through abuse and everything else. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, yo, I'll stay single because that's not the life for me. None of it. I'm not holding down. I'm not riding and dying with nobody. I don't care where you're riding. I don't care because I'm not dying. I'm not going to sit here and let you look and say, oh, she fair skinned, she close enough. No, I don't like none of that. It pisses me off, quite frankly. It pisses me off. It makes me angry to be looked at in that way, as if I would sit back and deal with any of what we have seen, you know, people deal with. And I'm just like, don't you love your, like when I see some of this stuff, I'm like, yo, you don't love yourself?
You don't have friends?
Your friends, your family.
Where are your friends?
Who you don't love yourself?
Her friends was on the TV show getting a check.
Her friends are the very ones that's telling her to go do it.
Yeah, her friends are sitting on the show getting a check with her. Her friends are sitting there watching her go through this stuff with this man who is publicly cheating on her while she is on a nationally syndicated show. And she was quiet, she was pretty, she was meek. You could have heard a mouse piss on cotton because she talked with such a quiet tone. And Fab still knocked her teeth out. It was several teeth that was knocked out. And what did she do? She went and got her some new veneers, got her a new butt, and had a third baby by that man.
Yep.
It's
and now they're seen everywhere together. Now they're seen everywhere.
Now they're trying to say they're
Can I just point something out? Can I just point something out before you go?
Yeah.
This is exactly what the men of the manosphere want. They just don't have the money. They want women to fawn over them. They want women to take getting their teeth knocked out, going to get it fixed, and then popping out another baby. They want women that are meek so that they can fuck around with every single person on television and get the fuck away with it.
That's why
that's what they want.
Kimbella
in the 60s, because
the Kimbella
going back to, well, my grandmom and my grandpa were married for 57 years, and
they don't want to talk about how the grandfather went Medea on. I mean, the grandmother went Medea on the grandfather and popped him more. Like they don't want to talk about them stories. Them stories are real.
They also want to talk about how your grandmother didn't have a bank account. She didn't have access to money. So I mean, you're talking. It's interesting. They tell on themselves. You want women who have less rights and less power. That's what you want, because then they have to be with you.
But then they turn around and vilify Black women if we have our own thing. Then we're too masculine. We need to, lessen ourselves or whatever. I'm like, okay, well, is it Uchiwali or is it one mic? Do you woman that's got to depend on you for everything and you be the sole provider? She's submissive.
And then they complain.
Exactly. And
they can't carry that weight on their
own. The man of the house is supposed to do. Or do you want a woman that can actually help? And y'all do be together because it's a partnership.
I think they want a wonderful unicorn that does it both. And I think I'm going to harken back to two of the points in here because I kind of missed them. But I wanted to tie that back in because I think they use both of these things to shame Black women in different ways.
Yes.
So the first one I have is that they complain about quote unquote Black women having attitudes, wearing weave, lashes, nails, and that they're being masculine. I think they attack our physical features because we look the fuck good, and they don't want us to look the fuck good because if we don't look the fuck good, then we have low self-esteem.
For us to look good.
And if we have that too, but if we have low self-esteem, we'll pick them. They also say they want someone that's fit, feminine, and friendly, which is they want the Emilys, they want Kimbellas, they want the they thought they had Eric Commander, but Mena said no. And I think they use both of these things to shame Black women. One, they don't want us to think that we look good. They don't want us to do anything that feeds into a beauty standard that we've created for ourselves, or even following one that was given to us. They don't want us to look good. And then they want us to be these teeny tiny, lightweight, meek children
Right.
that they can just toss around and abuse on their
They want
whim.
kids.
And if
Ain't
they
it's just
nobody
like-
gonna sit
roles
back
to
and
therapy,
try to
this
be
would
a
not be a
spinner for
thing.
them. Ain't nobody gonna sit back and try to be a spinner for them. And I think that Black men need to fully understand, we do this for us. We do this so we feel good.
How
when
dare
we
you do
walk
it?
out.
I do this for the girlies.
Right. I
Well,
do this for the girls
All
and the
day
kids.
for the girlies.
but
How dare
I'm
you
just
do
saying,
that
like,
to
I'm
yourself?
here, like, I like my nails, I like my blue hair, I like my tattoos, my piercings, my everything. I do yoga because that's what I like to do. I've been doing it a long time. I do the business that I run because that's what I like to do. I'm not going to shrink into a box for you. I'm not doing any of those types of things. You shouldn't want me to shrink into a box.
Right.
How dare you
Just
have
to
high
me.
self-esteem though? How dare you
Huh?
be happy?
Why not?
How dare
They
you
shrunk
be
into a
happy and your
box.
life not be centered around a man? Like
Right.
that's part of their
I
issue.
just-
How dare your life not be centered around a man that can't even afford a fill-in and a pedicure? How dare you think that you deserve to be happy without your life being centered around a man? And that's what a lot of them are angry about. A lot of them are very pissed at the fact that Black women are just like, hey, I do this for myself.
Right.
Well,
I
how
just
dare
find
you
it very
do that?
What that
interesting
reminds
how
me of, I'm sorry. I don't know. I have recently saw this person because I hopped on BPG's live, I think on Thursday night. There's this like guy.
Was it the night that you
I
were
think it's,
going
like,
in?
Slim. I think so. And there's this guy like I think his name is like Slim or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God,
So
Slim
I
something.
saw
I
a
avoid him.
video.
I blocked him.
Listen, I've been hitting not
But
interested.
I think I need to avoid
But
him.
he was in a live with I think it's like what is his name, like what is it, like some other Black man that's popular. And he was basically arguing with married folk when they were telling him like, you need to be dependent on you. Like my partner isn't my end all be all, not the center. And he was like, well, you don't really know how it is for single folk who are trying to get there. And I'm just like, he just wants to vent. So I think when I hear him talk, what I hear in him and a lot of the manosphere, because he had asked a question in BPG's live, like, so what do you want me to tell these Black men who I'm going to go mentor and build up when they have to come back to Black women?
Why they always going to mentor
I was like,
somebody?
want you to tell me
right,
nothing.
crazy.
It's live.
No, you are
It's
not
just dawning
supposed
on
to
me.
mentor. No.
It's
Let's talk
dawning
about
on me.
the weird need to be a leader and them comparing it to the Lion Kingdom. And to me, I find that the best because lionesses
That's how
run
you
the
know they
Lion
don't.
Kingdom. It's one of those, you can't provide and protect. You can't do that job. Why are you trying to add on
Not
an
even
additional
that.
service? It
Not
just
even
doesn't make any
that.
sense.
I
He
want people to
he
stop
was fighting
getting allowed-
against he was fighting against and fighting against having autonomy and agency and fighting for men doing things just to obtain sex from women. It's like he
Just buy
only
it.
wants
I
to
don't
do
understand.
things
Just purchase
to
it.
get sex
Like,
from women
sex
instead
workers
of
are
being
right
a better
there.
person for himself, being a better person for your children, being a better person for your family, being a better person for the Black community at large, not just the women that you want to have sex with. So it's like
And
I think I think they center themselves as being fetishized, but they also center
They love it.
everything that they do is to obtain pussy.
Which they
They're
could just pay
obsessed,
for if they can
and they
afford it.
don't understand how we women cannot be obsessed with doing everything just for some penis.
Mhm.
You can buy it on Klarna.
Let's just be honest. It's not difficult for us as women to get it. It's not. Men,
They are very easy. Yes.
they are very easy. It is not that difficult to
To be
get it.
honest with the
It just shows
pygmies,
so-
it's not difficult for them either because in his life he has a lot of women.
Oh,
in
there's
his
a lot of
life.
women that would
They
love
skip
to.
over those
Ooh, tell
women
me
and
more.
come to
I've
the
never
ones
seen
that are
one of
not
his
even
lives.
interested because
Yeah.
that's what they're attaching
That's
their
the
manhood to.
conquest.
If
That's
I just
the
conquered
They
this
don't want
woman,
consent. The consent part is what bothers them. They
So they
want to
wanna
be able to
break
say,
somebody.
I got
Yes.
her. Like
Yes.
I was able to flip her. And it was like,
Yeah.
you sound like
Well,
you,
why
you
at
just
your
you
big
sound like
age
your
is that a
captors.
concern of yours?
You sound like
Because
your
they don't,
captors.
that's the only way that they feel important because their only goal is to look good to other men. They could give a
Right.
shit if they look good to us.
I
What
wish they would
wanna
address
do
that.
is make sure they look virile and, you know, a hunter and all this other stuff to other men to impress other men. Hence, their whole identity being rooted in the fact of whether or not they can coerce a woman or convince a woman to have sex with them.
And I guess
they're
I
not
always think it's why
understanding-
you censor women.
They're also not understanding that Black men that are about their business do not care what they have going on, period.
Right.
They're out here trying to make a difference in their communities, which is what they claim that they're trying to do. But it just seems like it's a blame game. And I'm like, so when do we all just say we have to take care of this and then just move into the implementation part of
The solution?
community?
They don't want to work
Yeah.
together. They don't want to work
Absolutely
together.
not. Because
that
their
would be too
solution is
easy.
us
Exactly.
giving in to what they're asking of us or what they're demanding of us. That's their only solution. Other than that, they're not here to do shit but
But
just
see,
vibe
I
and
think
fun.
that's,
don't even want what they're
that's
demanding.
my other giant problem. It's like
They don't.
what they're demanding is so incredibly shallow and immature and
They
so
don't
irrelevant
even
to
want it.
life.
They have it. We have pygmishas who are like, sir, I will bow at your feet with
They
my
want
nails
that
looking
one
crusty and my
say it,
hair
can't
undone.
get. That's
To
the
you.
problem.
And they don't want it. They don't want. They just want to say they want it because it sounds pretty.
No,
To be
they
a
want
leader
the humble-
takes action. It takes hard work. That's the cat. They don't want that part.
They want
They
to
don't want that.
humble the women that don't want them.
Exactly.
They want to humble the women that don't want them. Because I saw
They want to humble their mama.
I saw a clip on Tanya. I saw a clip on Tanya TKO's live where this girl was like, she was like the president of the Pick Misha Club. Like she had t-shirts and buttons and everything. And as she's talking, this man is on a video screen. He's not even paying her any attention. And I'm like, everything you said you wanted in a woman, this woman right here, she's small, she's short, she is throwing the crown at you.
Because he wants that big girl that he been eyeing since high school, and she won't give him no play because she got goals.
Right. But see,
she
the
knew
thing,
he was a
They
nobody
love
in high
big
school,
women,
and
and
she
I wish
still
they
know
would
him as
say
a
it.
nobody.
You're mad that I don't want you, sir.
Right.
You've been told by white men that big fat women are ugly. Fat women are ugly. Why are all my ex-boyfriends white? You're lying to yourself. Cut it out.
A lot of them are upset. A lot of them are upset that the ones that don't want them, the women they want to humble, they want us to be humbled and go back to the plantation with them. So while they're being mistreated by the white man that they aspire to be, they want us to sit there and allow them to treat us the way the white men treat them. They can always
Why are you mad
understand
at us for not wanting to be on the
because
plantation?
they
The
mad
plantation
that we
ain't
won't-
fun. You don't have no fun at the plantation. Why you want me to go?
They won't.
Because misery
are
loves
mad
company.
that
They
we
want
won't
us to
shut
have
up and
their
suffer.
own plantation.
They're mad that we won't shut up and suffer. They want us to shut up and suffer. Like that video that you played 2 weeks ago. It wasn't one you played 2 weeks ago, but it's one that's floating on TikTok where this man was like, well, Black women need to give up the idea of having the middle class American dream like white women, and y'all need to take what we got.
Bro, we fund it for ourselves on a daily basis.
Wait.
What are you talking about?
Quick question. They'll forever say like pick better men. You don't have your daddy. You got daddy issues. Then you're like, where's your daddy? Crickets. Nobody. I had a hard life. And I'm like, okay, well, the standards I have are set by my father. My father set these standards. I don't pay for anything. My dad pays for things. If I call him up and say I need something, he gets it done. Grandpa gets it done. That's a standard set by a Black man. So why are you mad that I have a standard? You told me to pick better, and a Black man showed me a Black man can provide better. So which way do you want it? I just don't understand.
They want it both ways.
Right now.
They're complaining about providing though.
Yeah. Because either we're doing it because we saw how it didn't work in our lives, so now we're doing the polar opposite, or somebody showed us this is the game plan. This is how life is supposed to work. And we're like, okay, I like it. So yeah,
it's nice. And some of us had both.
Right.
Because some of y'all that left your children got a stepdaddy that's stepping the fuck up when you didn't.
Yep.
Exactly. Can't wait for my son's stepdad to get here.
You know what? I
looking
look at
for him,
stuff.
sir.
I also look at stuff where they're saying, well, you'll be stuck here, you'll be stuck there. And I'm sitting here just looking and be like, I'm already nice and comfortable
Love
on
you
my
said to
own.
me.
How I'm gonna be stuck.
I'm nice and
get to where I'm at.
comfortable with the hard work that I have put in. I'm nice and comfortable on my own. I can afford, matter of fact, I can afford to help. This is a place I wanted to get to. My son's father's, peace out, bounce. I ain't chasing you around. I got children to raise and they're boys. No. I can't have them looking at women in a certain way. And they gotta have standards in a certain way and for themselves and for whatever woman that they choose. And it is their choice and they know that. But if you're looking and saying, well, you know, who is it? One of the city girls that's messing with Diddy and he bought her a car and she got a show and stuff like that. And they're like, she knows how to date. How it don't belong to her. He snapped his fingers. All that is gone.
And most of the time when they break up, the first thing they snatch is the damn car that they gave them.
Mm-hmm.
And your show
in your
and
name.
everything else.
Until they put it in your name, it ain't yours.
I would have had
It
it
is
signed over
conditions.
my name.
It's conditions. You gotta put it in my name.
Okay, I'm not accepting.
A huge point that you touched on was that your sons have standards. And I think that's a huge issue. A lot of these men don't have any standards. So when they see standards and boundaries, they're like, whoa, what are those? What are those? Because they don't have them for themselves. So they can't have them from us.
And I didn't let my sons, I was the opposite. And I'm the opposite now that they're adults. They were not, oh, my little kings of the house. No. This is mine. I run this. Y'all rent the rooms by cleaning them and stuff, but this is mine. And eventually you'll have your own. And I'm glad that I stood in that because it made a difference in who they are now. And, you know, when we talk about, you know, Black men that, you know, take out groceries, take cars, stuff like that. My son will take my car. I work from home. So I'm busy throughout the day. I'm up very early in the morning. My son would be like, you got to go for an oil change. He'll grab my keys and come back. There's your oil change. I have trash, recycling that need to go. I look up, I didn't ask, it's gone. They look and they're like, this is what I should be doing. I shouldn't have to be asked by my mama, by the woman in my life, by nobody. And my granddaughter is growing up in that, where she's just like, the standards are, and I'm gonna keep these standards this way. She's growing up very different, and we're all contributing to that because that shouldn't be that way. Men shouldn't be uncomfortable. I'm 44. I'm not 24. I should have this type of life. It should not intimidate you. And let's also put out there that those men that want to look good and stuff like that, don't know what, I love a good looking man. The thing is that they want to look good, so every woman chases them, or they wait so long that when they're out of shape and not looking that great, then they want to come for you. No, thank you. I don't want that. You a leftover. From how many? I don't take community pain.
I had a friend that was like that they will allow this guy to run over them time after time after time. And he will tell her, when I get myself together, when I think I'm at the right spot, then we can be together. I don't think, but why am I wasting a whole lot of time and putting in money? Like we're a married couple and we don't even date. I don't even hardly see you. That's so weird to me.
Girl, what? I've had that dating experience where I was captain.
There are women that's like
a hoe. No cap. I've been there.
Captain Save a Hoe with a K and all the hope and wondering and being ambitious that they would eventually change. I wasted a lot of time doing that exact thing. And then I got people looking at me crazy now where it's like, oh, you don't date. I don't want y'all. I'm over here by myself. I had to teach this boy how to pee by himself standing up. Like, I don't need y'all now. He can pee in the toilet by himself. Like, y'all need to back about my space. And so, like, I was that person. Oh my God, there's so much potential. You know how dumb I sound? Potential and hope.
But you don't even realize.
But that's what we were raised like.
That's it. We were
Yeah.
conditioned that way.
Yep.
You got to look at all of the movies.
Stick beside him. Stick beside your man.
You got to look at all the movies that's been out with Black characters as well as white characters. That whole, he's the mysterious guy. He's a little rough around the edges. And then all of a sudden he softens up. No, sometimes he never softens up. He stays hard.
I don't like nonchalant men.
Gets worse.
It's not cute. It's not I wish we'd kill the trope. That whole nonchalant, maybe I like you, maybe I don't know.
Oh, I want that.
No. I can't.
Kick that man to the curb. Just leave him.
It's not fun. And so many men think that's how you get a girl. That's how you get pygmalions, what you don't want. You want to be alluring. Stop being alluring. Stay what you want. State what you need so we can help you. That's another thing. If you just say what you need, we want to help. But you have to be honest and stand on your truth. And when I hold you accountable, you have to actually listen and be like, yeah, I was wrong. That's the part that's always
don't know that word. All you want to do.
Yeah, I was about to say that's another word that only a certain amount of people know the true definition. Most people think accountability is shifting blame.
Or will accept it, because I feel like part of growth and just being a good person, period, is just you're not always going to be right. And you gotta say when you're wrong, or when somebody comes to you. When they come to you and they're like, listen, I feel some type of way about this, or even if they're I don't do the yelling thing, but even if they're screaming or hollering, stuff like that, I just sit back, I listen. I'm trying to take out the parts. I know they're hurt, so I'm taking out the parts so I can make sure I hear. And we go from there, but you got to be willing. And there's so many that aren't willing to even acknowledge the word accountability, or their accountability is the distorted thing that when we're pointing out stuff that you're doing that's harmful, how I've seen so many women who are on the app like, yo, this is wrong. Like, you out of bounds, you out of pocket for this, you wrong for this, and here's why. Like, just don't leave it alone. And they still keep going. And then they want to argue with you. That's why I don't, Moses, that's a hell no. Because all he wants to do is argue for his fans.
As soon as I see he got a new page.
As soon as I see he got a new page, he got to go. He triggers me so bad. I'm just
Which
like,
one is that?
no
Is that the light skinned guy?
With the dread.
With the lock. The one
long
that's
face.
always yelling.
Listen,
Moving on.
He's
part of the Black Israelites.
The one that said that he liked little girls? Is that the one?
The one that
I think I can't stand is a Black Israelite.
Wait.
He is a Black. That's what he said he is. But wait a minute. Time out. Did somebody say that he liked little girls? Wait,
yes,
I did to be that way.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Is that the one where he said he has that fantasy of sleeping with a sister?
No, I haven't heard that.
Am I thinking of
Somebody else.
No.
There's too many. God,
No,
please
Moses,
help our Black men.
No, Moses got on TikTok.
We just gonna let him just be. It's like Beetlejuice. I don't need to summon him.
Yeah, no.
He pop up in the live.
The last point.
Now he over there on TikTok terrorizing people. He ain't
The
getting
last point.
He
I
always
would
on
like to
TikTok
get
terrorizing
to
people.
before our closing questions. I don't even know if I should go down this road again.
I did. Then
this. I'm gonna go down the road. Let's go skipping. Let's do it.
You know, ease on down the road.
So, as we established in the beginning of this, the manosphere in general is anti-feminism. However, the Black manosphere places all the all the blame for the decline of the Black family on feminism. More specifically, white feminism, because they don't know the difference.
Yeah, because
here's the road I skipped down, right? Because I'm like, it don't make no sense to me, right? But I'm gonna make it make sense backwards. We're gonna backtrack. So feminism ruined the family, but they don't understand what feminism is to begin with. If they knew what feminism was to begin with, they would understand that feminism is a response to patriarchy and misogyny. And if they understood that, they would understand how they as Black men have been disadvantaged systemically, societally, historically been disadvantaged by said patriarchy and misogyny. So if they
And they
were
can be
trying to
effeminate.
dismantle those systems, they would understand that if you circle it all the way back the fuck around, you would understand that feminism helps your black ass. But they don't. They like to cut off their nose to spite their face. They don't understand what they're doing. So I guess I can give them an ounce of grace with that. But
No.
it's like, how do you
No.
make it make sense that feminism ruined the black family when you left and women picked up the slack? You
Well,
like 50-50 relationships, don't you? Isn't that feminism? I'm confused.
women, but
You
white
like
feminism,
black women
white
working and paying for these homes that you don't know how to lease or rent or have a mortgage for, but you don't believe in feminism. I'm
Or got
confused.
credit for.
but white feminism has never benefited black women to begin
At
with.
all.
So let's
No.
start
We've
there.
never even used it. That's my point. We've never
But they don't get that part. They think feminism along the world, black women jumped on white women feminism, and now they done ruined the black family.
They got
Sir,
this shit from
if
us.
you left,
Ours first.
Keisha and Laquanda all with these babies, and you never came back, and you waiting on their welfare check and their food stamps in order for you to bebop into the club before 9 o'clock so you can get in free and smash somebody else. Again, why didn't you go back and mend together your broken homes? They idolize Nick Cannon. And here we are on baby number 4 for 2022.
He on baby
Like
number
this-
what?
Number
Right,
3 or
for-
4. Somebody just
No, he's
He's on baby number 11.
10.
No.
Is
I'm
it
talking about
11?
for this year.
With
I'm talking about
all
for this year.
non-black women,
No,
right?
no.
I'm talking
They're not
about-
even
No,
non
some
black.
of
I
them
think
are
there's like
black.
6 of them.
They're black.
No.
Some of them are black.
I'm talking
Okay.
about the 4th baby born.
Oh, in
Oh,
this
this
year.
year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It
In
was
Okay, yeah, that makes
2022,
sense.
Yeah.
There was
All of them
one
is
born
black.
3 weeks ago, and there was one born last week. It was a little girl born 3
If
weeks
you-
ago.
Mhm.
Her mother's
If you
dark
look at
skin.
it
I
by
don't
their
understand
logic,
how can you actually
No.
be an effective
Not even
father
that.
in
There
your
was an
children's
article.
lives?
There was
Not even that.
women.
In the middle of all of this, it comes out that he's not even paying any money for his child that was born a few weeks ago. She can't even afford to get a night nurse, and she ain't finna ask him.
Yeah, she
So
didn't ask me
there was
because
a-
he ain't her sugar daddy.
It's because they
No,
want to be.
there
It's because they
was-
want to be strong black women. That's why.
They're not black.
That's what that is.
Well,
They're
he
not
has
black.
made a promise to these women that he will, if they are with him doing whatever, they don't have to work. There was the one woman that had twins by him
Which one?
was on a podcast
I think the
and was
second set of
talking
twins.
about
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
Mariah
I think she recently had a baby this year too.
Yep.
she had another baby by him. So
Yeah,
three?
she's on baby number 3.
She's
Yeah.
So
she's the one
she's-
that's gonna have another baby because she's pregnant. The second twins mama, second set of twins mama. She's pregnant with her 3rd baby, and there's already been 2 babies born this year, 3 babies born this year.
Yeah.
And she might be getting ready to have the 4th one.
I want to understand.
she
And I
was
thought I had heard
talking-
in the last year that at the beginning of this year, the one that he had lost the child with last year, I think
It's like he didn't
I
even
heard
give
rumors
a
that she was
damn.
pregnant again too.
I was
Is she?
wondering if that was gonna happen
She would be an
because
idiot.
she
Now
wasn't.
this
that
point-
one,
at
that
this
one right
point, this
there,
is
I
just
think
ridiculous.
And doesn't he have
sorrow.
lupus? So do he not understand that he is actually spreading this trait through
He
all
don't
of
care.
his children?
So not
Okay.
even that.
Even
Not
the
even
girls?
that. Not
Do
even
the
that.
women not care
No.
either? Like,
No, they don't care.
Specifically his girls?
Let me
No.
say something because I did the calculations. Okay. I looked up what Nick Cannon is worth. He's only worth $20 million. Now I know assets and stuff like that. All of it ain't liquid. But if he were to die today due to his illness or to a car accident or what may have you, something on set fall, God forbid, knock on wood, if that man were to go today, all 10 of his kids that are here now are minors.
Yep.
$20 million divided by 10. I'm not the best at math, but I know that's $2 million each kid. And I know for a fact that it's not enough to raise a child.
Now,
I will
the
say this, the
lifestyle-
only woman that has money like that is Mariah.
Mariah
The
Carey.
rest of them,
Yeah, she chilling.
the rest of them don't have money like that, and they accept what he's doing. Now, the one that they lost their child, I really felt brokenhearted for her.
Yeah.
Because as soon as she had lost that child, he was already
Popping
more
up
were
There was
already
already
popping
one.
out.
Yep, they were coming.
And I felt hurt for her. She made a decision, but that I did feel hurt for her because she lost her child. And if she decided I want to go have another child with him, you know what? I'd rather you heal then go over here with this man that he has popularity and he's busy. People are like, can he really be present with all these kids? And the answer is no.
Not even he can't. No.
Always a walking contradiction, because they say that the biggest issue within the community is single mothers. However, they idolize men who create single mothers. Not just Nick Cannon. Look how they fall in love with Future. They idolize
Future, running on the
they
track.
love Future. They are obsessed with Future. They love
because they like the way they love seeing
dirt.
women dog out. Let's just call it what it is. You like seeing women dogged out. You like seeing women humbled. You like seeing women put in their place. And frankly, y'all don't have the money, resources, or confidence to do it yourself. So you want to live vicariously through you, just like Donald Trump. Let's just call it what it is. People live vicariously through that man because he had the resources to say what he wanted.
Well, I'm gonna say this. First of all, 70 made the best point. They make us single mothers. I'm gonna say that I never pictured in my life that I would have been a single mother.
Me neither.
Because the father bounced. It never crossed my mind, but I was young. Now being 44, I'm really happy, steady, stable. I'm chill. You know what I mean? Like I could take it or leave it right now. And I don't want the stress of any of those things. But the women that are loud and they're like, I know my worth. But look who you messing around with. Cassie left Diddy for the trainer that he hired, and she happy, married with 2 kids, doing her thing.
Yep.
She found love and happiness. Give me the one that's low key and doing his thing. Give me the Russell Wilson. Can I have Russell Wilson? Because you can tell.
They hate him though.
They hate him.
They hate him because they can hate him all day long, but us women liked it. If they had a
they hate him because they ain't him.
They hate him because of Sierra. And the crazy thing is, they're only mad at Sierra because she decided to choose herself.
But no, she chose
her
man. And they're just like, oh, well, how dare you leave Future and then move on and be happy and keep flourishing? Like,
but glossed over the years she took in between that to heal herself.
Exactly. Right. All the bullshit that she had to deal with while she was in the relationship with that man. Like, come on.
But that goes back to, they are so mad that she not suffering.
Yes.
They are so mad that she not struggling. They are so mad to watch that man love her and her child from the other relationship while having and build whatever. Little Future was out there catching the football about 3 weeks ago. I was like, look at him. I'm over here hyped like I know these.
You never, ever, ever see Future participating, and those kids look alike. Like his kids look. He got the dancer. She a real dancer, not that dancer. But you know, your kids look alike.
Bow Wow baby mama.
Huh?
You said the dancer. Bow Wow baby mama. She a dancer.
Yeah.
Yes, her. I'm sitting here like, we keep saying that's not what y'all are portraying is not attractive to women that y'all really want. And the women that y'all decide to pick are the women that then y'all get on social media and cry all about, they don't do nothing, they don't do this, they don't do that, blah, blah. Leave us alone. You pick that.
Y'all,
it's not, you can't look and say the women just pick wrong. Y'all pick wrong.
That's what I say.
Yep.
Y'all, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go to the wrap up question. They really want to sit at home all day, play video games, eat the kids snack, have you go to work, and have them drop you off and pick you up. All for you to come home, watch the kids cook and clean, and rub his feet. Like he had a long day at work.
He did. He had such a long day. Such a long day watching TV. Riding around with his friends.
That sounds like a child. That sounds
like baby boy.
It goes back to what Medusa said, how some mothers raise their sons. They want their mothers.
Yep.
That they can have sex with.
Which is just not
But Miss Cheryl was a single mama too. Miss Cheryl was a thought too. Miss Cheryl used to twerk back in the day too. But y'all never want to talk about what y'all
Listen,
mama.
your mom was that freak Nick. I seen it. No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I'm just
Because
saying,
a lot of their
not the
mothers are
freak
pick me's. I really wish we talked about that. A lot of these men's mothers are pick me's. They will run around here and say, well, my son deserves better. Your son isn't doing better. So why does your son deserve better? I don't understand. And they will support them and they will go forward, but then be the same woman be like, these men ain't ish. Which one is it? Auntie Pygmisha, Sister Pygmisha, which one is it? Because you
They
can't
don't
have
want to
good
look
men.
at their sons like that. They don't want to look and say, I raised sons that blah, blah, blah. They don't want to look at their own, like, how did I mess this up? And I'm be honest with you, having to hold up that mirror and have honest conversations, because I got grown sons, that's not easy, but it was necessary. I'm not the meddling grandmother. I'm not the meddling mother. I love the woman that my oldest son met. As soon as I met her, I knew that they were going to get married. I knew. I had to sit down and ask him if he figured out who she was. Then they started having those conversations and they're very serious. I want men to understand and like really hear what we're saying, because this shit, there's so much going on. We don't need the additional divide. Can y'all just get yourselves together just for once? And if you're going to talk smack and learn this lesson, if you're going to disrespect Black women throughout your entire life, be so utterly disgusting, and you decide to be with a white woman and she takes your life, please don't look at Black women like we're supposed to come to the rescue, because the answer from every single Black woman was no.
Yep. And then we were wrong. We were wrong for that, because it was like,
I don't care.
Wish that on him. No, nobody wished that on him.
Nobody ever wished that on him.
Why would somebody wish that a Black man is unalive? Like, no. We didn't have no hand in what that girl did.
Nope. He had his own hand in it, but that's the other thing. Like, don't look at Black women and make us the reason why you're choosing to date outside to date outside the sport. Don't look at us and blame us for that.
They need to just
That's
go
your
though.
choice.
They need to just go though.
Just
Let it
go.
go. Just go. If that's where you want to be, baby, I'm
go.
not gonna hold you. I'm not about to chase you. I'm too fat to be chasing you when you don't want me. Just go on over there to her. But they keep talking about it. Like, sir, do you not know how to shut up? Like, sir, I don't.
The grass ain't greener on the other side, and they ain't look at them either. Like, let's
right,
just
but they not
keep it a
spreading
buck.
them either. It's the ugly ones that they impregnate, that they walk around and sit beside them while Karens call them the N-word, and then they want to say Black women are disrespectful. Like, come on now, go on, passport bros. You want to be United Nations and stick your penis in everything that is not Black? Go ahead, baby. Go on.
Can I be messy for a second?
Go ahead, Coco. I'm ready. Go on.
Oh no! Did y'all see that that girl that looked like, I said she looked like the little meep meep guy from the Muppets? Her ex-boyfriend was an angry reactor guy.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Girl, what?
Yes.
I refuse to talk about her.
Because he made a video trying to distance himself. He knows who she is and how she operates, and he's trying to distance himself. And now they're dragging him because he's trying to distance himself.
You know what had me gag though?
Who is
because
that?
we people, they went through her stuff and found out that her mother basically was, the originator of fat phobia in her life. So we all know it. All know how white mothers are about having fat daughters. So we're not even touch that part. So it's funny to me how you're going around doing all this fat phobia, but it's like you weren't attractive enough to get a white man of that caliber on TikTok. So let's really talk about that for a second. Don't nobody want your ass. Yeah.
No Black woman won't want his big ass either. Let's be honest.
I know that too.
Both sides.
Wow. How the fuck
you want to
keep
piss
repeating
off
it
a
though?
white woman? Be a Black woman taken care of by a white man. That'll get him. That'll get him every time. And don't let you be a little chunk. That'll get him every time.
That's exactly why they
I have always been a big girl, and I have never had a problem pulling any man that wasn't Black.
When I was, I never had a problem.
Let's keep it
Never.
real. They
Never.
really hate
With
to
money.
see it. They hate to see it.
I love it when I don't go in and automatically say that I'm married and I start talking the way that I'm talking. And then they're like, oh, see, that's why your fat ass is going to be by yourself. And then I just go,
my fat ass finna lift up my fupa tonight. How about
Exactly.
You tell him I'm going to be by myself because he said we together.
Right. He don't put a ring on it.
Right. Where am I going by myself, sir?
But you know what the part is? They know there are men that want us. That's what they call simps. So they know
they are the men that want us. And that's the funny thing. Because you can talk negatively about us on your platform and all this other stuff.
In the DM, like what you doing?
Right. But
good morning,
then
sweetheart.
My DMs.
Good morning, beautiful.
Out of my
right.
Like
all of the stories.
Right.
Why you going 40 weeks 40 weeks in the Instagram liking pictures? but you will miss every picture that have my husband in it.
It's very funny how they conveniently forget to like those pictures with your spouse.
Right.
Because even with me, they do the same thing. And I'm like, that's funny. That's real funny. That's
or they want to, I get odd questions and I'll be like, no, I'm talking about this. Fucking focus. I don't, this ain't the time. If you can't fucking focus, I can't have no conversation with you. You don't need, like, just go, sir. Just exit. Because if I'm saying stuff that impacts our community and you want to talk about, you so pretty. What?
I know, nigga, focus.
That is not a compliment. You stupid. That's how I feel when that happens. You stupid. Don't talk to me.
You know what?
Sorry.
I get the same 5 or 6 men from the manosphere. Mine don't never transfer out. I don't never get a new batch, but it be the same ones that come to my page every time. And it does not make a difference how I talk to them. They don't leave and they make sure they come back. And then when my video cycles cross there, I'd be like, how did you wind up back over here again? We don't even engage. I can tell them to apologize and they will do it.
You gotta start charging.
There was one that I told literally because he was mad about a video, and I was like, I didn't say that, so I need you to apologize now, and he did it. There's something wrong with them.
Some of them want that. I think some of them want they want to be controlled. They want that. I told
them I'm gonna start charging them.
They want to be talked down.
You're not gonna get your rocks off free on me.
Me too. You had to cash at me a deposit before I continue this conversation.
Listen,
if it don't make sense, I'm just gonna go ahead and block you, so you won't even have to worry about seeing no more of me.
I get tired of blocking people. I had to block the pastor 5 times. He still keep popping up, so I don't have to leave. That's a whole other subject. Just know I get tired of blocking people, so you clearly have fought to be here, but don't be bothering me because if you come bothering me, I need a cash app deposit.
It's something about heavier Black women. They can consistently come back and they like to be talked to in that manner.
I be talking trash.
Because they got a degradation.
They get triggered and have a flashback to like the 5th grade with their mama. Like, they just get aroused. I don't know why.
I really do think like a lot of them, when they come back and they start to like try to neg you or try to provoke you, and responding to them and talking to them crazy, is because they have a degradation kink. We don't kink shame over here. That's fine. But like you could go somewhere else to get that.
But part of that of being, you know, and we both have to consent to. There are terms and conditions. You can't just come out of nowhere.
That for free. If that's the type of relationship we finna have.
It's a transaction, sir.
Now my phone to get quiet. My phone to get quiet since I was like, my handle on all platforms is the same as my Cash App. Make sure I have a deposit before you call me. Don't call me. Don't bother me. But you look good. I know that. Go away. I don't have a deposit. I didn't get a notification saying that you deposited anything in my Cash App or Apple Pay. Until then, you need to go hither. I be talking straight trash. Every chance I get, I be like, ooh, I was stressed out today. Let me air him out. Gone. No, go away. Be gone. Get the hell on.
Yeah,
Love
and they
don't want
start
no
off so
more
nice
last.
with you too. They call you beautiful,
Hey,
you're a black queen.
hey, how you
As soon as
doing?
you're not matching what they
If
trying to
they
say,
good morning you to
ooh,
death. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, hey,
all of it.
hey, boo, how you been?
Grand
Boo,
Rising.
I am not a ghost. I am not Casper. Who is boo? What are you talking about?
Yo,
No.
I can't. Let's get into this last question. I want to target our answers to other Black women because men don't listen. Um, so how do we combat the narrative of the Black manosphere? Like, what if we can? How do we do it? What shall we do? I know most of us anyway are already doing the work, but is there something we can do, like, other than speak out about it and label it and name it and all that kind of stuff? Because I feel like every time we make a video, 100 of them get mics and they start their podcast,
Yeah.
and it's like
your
roaches;
video
they
being the
never go
main topic.
away.
I don't think that we do. This might
I
be unpopular,
don't.
but like you keep talking about it. I have older daughters, they're 21, they're in college. Like when they were in 7th and 8th grade, I stopped talking to them about other people. And every time they would have normal issues, it was like, okay, that's what happened. What are you going to do differently? If they're not going to change, the only thing that we can do is just be our own better. And we're already doing that. We're going to therapy. We're buying homes. We're getting college degrees at higher rates. We're developing these communities with book clubs and hiking and this session that we're having right there. And if we just keep functioning like this is the space where we need to be better, as opposed to focusing on how terrible it is over there, they're just going to get left behind and then they can just fall into whatever pit that they're going to be in. But instead of worrying about them dragging you down, you cut off that chain and then you just keep moving forward.
Hold the boundary, set your boundary, hold the boundary. And I'm not saying it's easy, because I'm gonna tell you how much it's not easy, but I love and respect myself too much to even at times address. A lot of times I look at stuff and I may, because we can repost videos, support and reposting, but on my platform, I'm very intentionally avoiding certain topics around some of this stuff, because I feel like it takes away from the important stuff that we do need to talk about. And I feel like I'm not wasting, you get no voice on this platform. You get no voice, not gonna make you an example. I'm not going to do that. You grown, and I have grown. I got grown sons and a granddaughter. I'm not fixing to be out here. You just someone that I just need to click not interested and keep moving along my business, because I'm just in that headspace and I've been there for a while. And as soon as I see some stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna go over here and keep doing what I was doing, because you're not going to distract. We really do have real world issues that are directly impacting us. And so, yeah, we got to talk about the fuckery that our men are doing, because they need to hear. But on a regular basis, you come to my page, I'm talking about some real shit. You about to get educated on some real shit. You don't like that real shit, you always welcome to bounce. But I'm going to keep doing me.
I agree. Like at the end of the day, it's too many of us that are still speaking on things that we have already been shown is not going to change.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know there's a lot of people that are like divesting and different things of that nature. If that's not where your heart leads you to do for yourself, you don't have to be there, but you also don't have to give your energy to certain things. I'm sitting there with 600 drafts now on TikTok because I didn't went off. And I was like, but I didn't look cute, so I got to go back, put some chapstick on. I'm going to come back to it, and completely forgot once the emotion didn't move.
Right.
So there's just certain things that will not will not change their minds, will never affect them in a manner to where they're like, hey, as the alleged leaders of this community, we haven't been doing what we need to do. And our women are screaming that, but we still are over here with cotton in our ears as if we just picked it off the plantation. Like they refuse to hear, they refuse to educate, they refuse to do any work. They even acknowledge their lack of emotional intelligence and acknowledge their need to be manipulative and coerce people. So like when you have somebody with that type of mindset, it's like, I don't wish wish ill will on you. I wish you the best, but I am no longer interested in anything that you have to say because it has no substance. Like, we're just gonna have to figure out as a collective group of women, matriarchal or whatever the case may be, what we need to do to make sure that we're happy, we're safe, we're protected, and we protecting these kids so that we can move on and do what we got to do. And whoever get left on the plantation, unfortunately, you're gonna have to just stay there because we not picking up nobody else.
Yeah, I just find it to be so weird that they say that they want to better the community, yet we are still dealing with the same tired, stale conversation over and over and over again. I just feel like, you know what? We have the tools necessary as Black women to make it happen. We have some Black men that know what we need to do in order to better ourselves. And like everyone's been saying, the ones that don't know, they get left behind. It's sad that you got to leave your own people behind, but hey, if you're not going to act right, what else is there to do?
I decided I'm not sad no more. It's been going on for too long. The fuckery been too real. I have recently, over the last few weeks, seen a couple things and was like, you know what? We cool, but you gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking to you about it. I'm not saying nothing about it. I've been invited places. I just don't respond because you don't deserve not 1 ounce of my energy, not 1 ounce. I'm out here really trying to help our community and do other things. You just not the one for me. And I'm not settling for nothing. I have not put all this work into myself. And what makes me mad is the fact that how much work I put into me as a person just to reach 44. And this is what's out here. Fuck that. I'm good.
I told my husband whenever he passes or if we don't make it.
Did you say whenever he passes?
Oh my God, I told my wife the same thing. I said, if you ever go on to glory or God forbid you divorce me and leave me, it's just gonna be
by
me
myself.
and Vinty.
Yeah,
It's
like
I'm
not about to waste my time with this.
Like Harvey said, at one point in time, I did feel bad about leaving. I thought I should address a lot of things, and it's been a while. I've gotten to the point that I don't care. If you want to sit in your piss and suck on it, that's on you. I don't want to have anything to do with it. And then the documentary that Coco showed weeks ago, this was going on 50, 60, same talking point. So we just have to come to the understanding that atmosphere is not going to change.
It's not.
My concern now is like building sisterhoods and then building with the men that want to see different, that want to change. And I'm even including those that may not know what to do, don't know how to change, but they're putting in the effort to do so. So they're going to always be the way they are, and they're no longer my concern whatsoever.
Yeah, I got to a point where I said I'm not doing emotional labor. For other people, I'm not carrying that. I'm not doing it. The closer I get to 40, the less I give a fuck. So if it don't directly affect me or my paycheck, I don't care.
Wait till you get to 40.
Listen.
Wait till you get there, girl.
I got 5 more years. 5 more years.
I got less than 5. I'm headed that way now because I had a verbal situation with a male mutual of mine who was talking about that 1960 women kicked the men out the house thing. And I just really looked at him like, I know you off this app, right? You know that your tone in front of other people offended me. And I really started thinking about this. I'm not about to have no oppression Olympics with you about Black men going through more stuff than Black women. When you go jogging in the middle of the night, all times of the night as a Black man, and I'm telling you, hey, be careful, because regardless of if you grinning and smiling and you polite, they can still gun you down. And you still sitting there telling me, I got it. Okay, well, don't get shot. Okay. Like at a certain point in time, you have to stop being so emotional about it. And I know that I'm slowly getting to that point where it's just like, hey, I can care about your well-being, but when I start caring more than you do, then that's a problem. And I need to start slowly removing myself. And I specifically, a mutual of mine She was just like, I don't give no emotional energy, Amanda. You got to stop because you're upset. And it's like, you can't be upset because I be ready to argue everybody down.
Yes.
Like it's a fight on Jerry Springer. And then I have to remember at the end of the day, these people don't pay not now bill. I'm gonna start cash apping everybody per TikTok because they doing too much. If I got to address you, then either I'm addressing you for a reason, or I feel like it's important enough to address. And some people just don't care. They just want to stay ignorant. Anybody born in 1990 shouldn't be arguing about anything that happened in 1960. And that's just my opinion.
Listen, my parents weren't even born. Like, let's be fucking for real. Like,
well, my sister was born in 66. So, well, yeah, that sister was born in 66. My mom was born in 50. So that's the reason why, like, Coco, I know you were talking about some of the stuff, and then the live that you did 2 weeks ago, where it was just the interviews. Some of those things were things I had never seen before. I was born in 87. And I just was like, this is interesting, but why does some of this shit still sound like you do in 2022? What is going on? Where's the growth? Where's the progression? These were supposed to be some of our leaders in that video that you showed us 2 weeks ago. And it's like, but there's still been no progression. What are y'all doing as leaders once you get in said positions? They wanted to raise hell about what B. Simone said about Martin Luther King, but none of y'all stood up to be Martin Luther or the King. None of y'all have stepped into those footsteps or them shoes or them Skechers and laced up your bootstraps and went out there and did the work. And then
they don't know how to
train the women.
They don't know how to.
When I tell you, no, they do. You want to know how I know they do?
Because they got.
I was doing research yesterday, and when I tell you, at first I laughed because it was funny, but I came across a Pinterest board. You know what? Let me see if I can find it.
I want to see the Pinterest board. Now,
it's a Pinterest board, honey, a Pinterest board. Where is my thing?
But they know how.
So they know how to organize. So they
organize when it's convenient.
Convenient for them.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
They don't want to
organize
the Pinterest
board popping. They had the Pinterest board popping. There was an Etsy shop.
They're able to do all of that.
So I'm like, so you know how to make memes. You know how to use Canva.
Oh, the conventions and the little.
That one convention that was $799. So they know what to do when they need to do it.
Oh my God.
They got
it. Looking at.
They got it fancy.
That's the Black Manosphere Pinterest board.
They have a board.
Funny.
Oh, that's so cute. Y'all, the color scheme matches. Look at that.
It is very.
You know how to organize.
Oh, look at it.
Let me see.
It's the hard thing is you try to help them, but still you're the bad one.
People don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusion destroyed. Baby, y'all talking about yourselves.
The color coming from inside the house at this point. Lord Jesus.
But if you notice, none of this talks about self-growth or accountability. It's all shift the blame to outside sources. But it does say nothing about self-improvement.
None of
self-awareness.
So they can make so they know how to make Etsy shops and know how to sell digital downloads, but they don't know how to get a permit for March. I refuse to believe that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I refuse to believe they just don't want to.
Did a woman put this together? I don't know. It's all disturbing.
That's a good one.
That's a good
one. Possible.
Because they could have, got a couple of people.
That's very
got them to put this all together.
It could have been a woman, because I know a woman that is a faithful believer and advocate for that man that parted that quote unquote Red Sea. And she will fall on the sword for him. So there are women that will do that.
No, I bet you can buy this stuff through their IG page too. I bet you they got Spotify. I bet you got, because my homegirl got Spotify.
The magazine that I have found.
Oh, not a magazine.
The magazine. Now this is the problem, because earlier somebody brought up the point. It's like, well, are y'all reading? Yeah, they're reading, but they're reading the regurgitated bullshit that's getting spit around in the manosphere, because that's all they want to hear. So read these articles and watch these YouTube videos and all this other stuff, but really it's like all of y'all are talking from the white man's playbook.
They act like Trump reporters that watch Fox News all the time.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Who that on the cover?
Peru, shall we?
Somebody's son.
Somebody's son.
That looked like that looked like an actor.
So I read through the synopsis on Amazon, and it sounded, it sounded nice and everything, but I was concerned first of all because it's the manosphere and it's obviously linking to red pill and blue pill, whatever.
Mhm.
But then when it comes to their pillars or their core, whatever, they're only aiming it at heterosexual Black men. And I'm like, even in your attempt to do something productive, you're still being white supremacist.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Because they want to oppress like their oppressors.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Oh Lord, who granddaddy is that?
Oh
Who
my
that?
goodness.
Not whose granddaddy is that.
Who that?
Not whose granddaddy is that.
He a mayor? Where
So I
at?
guess
Mm.
these
Mayor
are
Williams.
their and their major
Your
life
A
issues
game.
seem
Why
to
is
be.
everybody on their phone?
I don't know. I guess that shows that they have jobs or run businesses. They're
Oh, look, a book.
Oh, look at
Not a
that.
book.
Because
He
the Black
posed
man
real
can
good for
read
that
upside down.
Right. He posed real good.
I
for
can read
that.
upside down.
I
Can you guys
can
not read upside down?
Oh my
Can
I
y'all
can
do
read
it?
upside down.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of, you know how white people like to take words like woke or CRT and they like demonize those words. They collectively get together. They just pull a lot from white people and then just plagiarize and change
look
up
at
the and as of every now and then.
Yeah.
Look at this. He's looking
Y'all,
off.
listen to
deep
this.
thought.
It's terrible because why would you have this background with this? Oh my God, how am I supposed to read it?
Read this. Okay, I'll read it to you. It says, I don't. Can we cuss on YouTube? Cock carousel. It refers to the time a woman spends in non-committed relationships but is sexually active. Men refer to these women as riding the cock carousel. She has casual sex with various men but doesn't spend any significant amount of time being sexually exclusive to any of them. It typically starts when she's at least 18 years old. There they go. They're in the teens again.
Exactly.
Until she is in her late 20s or early to mid 30s. Afterwards, isn't this just the man? Afterwards, she begins to become tired from jumping from man to man and wants to settle into a meaningful relationship. That sounds like the life to me.
Sounds like a man.
That sounds like them.
Exactly like a man.
Exactly what they do.
That sounds like them because a lot of us in our early 20s were in committed relationships at least a year plus.
Yes.
Feels like the manosphere is being led by
I feel like
older
women in their early 20s are like more prone to being in relationships than women that are in their late.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Because you still got hope at that point at the beginning of your 20s. Then by the time you hit to the middle of the end, you're like, nah, fuck this. I'm not doing this.
Who baby?
They done brought the baby into this.
Don't be teaching that baby.
What is happening?
Don't be teaching that baby that.
If I was the mama, I'd be so pissed off. Get my child out of that nonsense.
Right.
Femininity,
Feminine
the state of a
nature.
woman being in her natural energy. How do you know what a woman's natural energy is if you're not a woman?
Because they're all Mr. Michael, and they know
opposite
how to
to
be a woman better than we do.
I don't even make any. I'm seeing stuff that I wish my eyeballs could unsee.
This doesn't
It's here. It's here.
describe
You
anything.
can't burn it out, Sonny.
This doesn't describe anything. There's no
They just
point
have a
in
lot
any
of
of this.
paragraphs for no reason.
Throwing paint at the wall, and they're saying stuff. Every time some of these men talk, I'm like, you don't have you were one that didn't listen to your mama.
Is this just
your
a
auntie,
dictionary?
your
Yeah,
cousin.
it goes over 100 words.
Yep.
Is it just
To
a dictionary?
me-
Why? I'm glad I didn't pay my 99 cents for this.
I'm glad you said
They're charging
I'm glad you saved your
99 cents.
100 pennies.
But it's
So glad
also,
you saved.
according to the cover page, it's supposed to tell you how to attack and address systemic
What is
issues.
the male nature? What is this?
That's what the cover page said. I read it.
What's up, Maggie?
Oh my Lord.
Why
These
is
are
everybody on the phone?
Like
It
I
was
said,
one.
They
It
want
was
to believe
one.
that Black men have a lot going on, like they're high in demand. Like,
How am I supposed to read this?
I don't
You
understand.
can't.
You can't.
I'm gonna
You
stay
can't.
single.
Don't
Is
hurt
it
your
supposed to be
eyes.
just a keepsake?
Oh, I'm sorry. It has me too on there. Yeah, I'm gonna stay single. I'm gonna say, yep. Fuck that.
Oh, they sure do. They sure do have me too.
One of the definitions in the other glossary that Coco had, they was like, it was called hair helmet or hair something of a rather, talking about describing Black women who wear weave. I said, oh, he didn't know Becky had tape ins.
Right.
They act like they always act like white women don't.
Why are these in white and not black, but these are in black? What is going on here?
I have no
Read the strong Black woman.
Because at the end of this, they realized that you can't see the actual white typing. So then they decided to change it to black.
Who picked
But
these
at-
backgrounds? Oh my Jesus.
The one thing that they know how to do is they know how to throw on a suit.
Yeah,
Two
a
for
suit
50,
and an
man.
unnecessary Chelsea boot. Exactly.
Yeah, they know how to throw on a nice suit. I'll give them that credit. A nice suit,
friendship
cardigan sweater.
The friendship market value? Yo, I don't ever want to read that. What the?
Reclaiming what? Reclaiming
The black
can't trust that man. Look at that
Oh
fucking
my
the black what?
God.
Black femininity. Feminine.
How would they know?
Oh my
Because
God.
they are Mr. Mamas. That is where this is rooted in.
But you know what the funny part is? That is why they're mad at us, because
This is disturbing.
we define our own sense of femininity, and they didn't have the strength and the courage to do so on their
Not
own.
yams. Why
Because
did we
it's
need
not
to add
rooted
yams?
Why is that a
What the
definition?
hell? What is
Why are the
happening?
But why are these definitions like 4 or 5 paragraphs? Like, I thought, you want a definition to be simple.
Right.
That's
Easy to
because
understand.
This
Wait.
right here, though, is what's
Bird
concerning
salad.
me.
No. Read the definition for zaddy.
I can't see that.
It says
I
slang
can
term
see
and way
it.
of saying daddy,
And way of
as
saying
in
daddy
white
as in
daddy
white
and
daddy
white.
or white zaddy.
It
Refers
refers
never
to
heard
the
nobody
power.
say no
state
white
of the white
zaddy.
supremacist power structure as a whole. Usually this term is used to refer
I just thought it was
Black
for a
women.
fine man.
Same.
That's what I had thought it was for
Setting
too.
her needs as a father
I
would supply
can't.
to a child or a male lover. Zaddy. Oh, that seems really weird. She can receive
What?
food in the form of public assistance, housing. Wait a minute.
What? How do you go
Black
to
people to
what?
understand
That?
this.
Wait a minute.
Can I make this point? I want Black men to understand, that think like this. I want them to understand that the majority of the people that are using this assistance are white people.
Yep.
Right, but they don't believe it.
A Black single mom can go in there and work 2 jobs that is barely supporting her family to try to get assistance, and they're going to turn her down because they're going to say she makes too much money. What are you talking about?
Whose uncle is this in these shades and that white shirt with
a
a light-skinned Umar on the back? Who is that?
Oh, light-skinned Umar.
Now they want to put that we have a problem. This whole entire thing should be
Was
linked.
printed.
We have a problem.
What tree died for this foolishness? No, I don't appreciate that. We need trees for oxygen.
You know what? I don't think they have enough money to put it on actual print. I think
this is just a
digital.
digital magazine. Ain't no way they use.
They're running into, it's a constant threat of extinction. That's the issue that white people are running into.
Here's the problem. They're talking about the
Do they
constant.
not understand that? Oh my
But they
God.
keep having babies with non-Black women. So what are you talking? Y'all are helping the extinction of yourselves.
It's like a hamster on a wheel.
Wait a minute, not a manosphere report card.
Oh Lord, I got to zoom in for this one.
Hell.
What this say?
Oh, those were the systemic issues that they were talking about. All of those, these.
Wait a minute. Hold on, there you go. I think I zoomed in. Wait, go back. I need to screenshot this so I can tell somebody. They ain't gonna believe me. Hold on, let me screenshot
Black
this.
male agency.
Chronic
We
homelessness.
congregate in this space to help heterosexual Black men and boys understand and address these systemic issues.
It's
Lack of
insurance.
Black male agency. poor health conditions. Well, how would you know your health is poor if you ain't going to the doctor to check it?
Right.
High incarceration rate, but y'all go to jail before y'all snitch on your homeboy, but you won't go to work to feed your child. But that's a whole nother thing.
It says nothing about police brutality, a lack of funding and education, lack of training. It talks about none of those issues.
No, none of that.
Just how can I find somebody to lay up under, punch on, and I can flip light on? They don't care about nothing else.
And then they don't even have leadership graded yet. It's a NA. So it's just safe to say, just let
not NA. Whoa, hold on.
the NA down there.
In the process of establishing, you have got to be kidding.
But not community also being NA.
Right.
But no in process of establishing an advisory team. Is that what we've established?
But didn't we say they did have a plan?
Who's on the advisory team?
Wait, chronic homelessness not addressed in the space, a taboo subject. What?
Wow.
Taboo.
Ignored in this high incarceration, ignored in the space unless used as a slander. What?
How?
It seems as if everything is based off how the next individual will see you. Because when you look at joblessness, it's a employment status, especially the lack of taboo. Everybody wants to appear well off. It's all based on how the next man sees you instead of addressing the system.
Or addressing the statistics that would back this up.
Yes.
This is...
Even if you look at educational support, it is only discussed when they're ranting about Black women. What are the solutions? What are the solutions? What are the steps? What are the ideas? What should we do?
Well, Black women are not the ones that's having poor educational support.
We're not saying anything about it.
We're not saying anything. Like, what are you talking about? We're not even... Y'all don't want to go to school? Fine. Don't go to school.
Go get a trade or something.
But you need to do something. Like, I don't understand.
But the funny part is you had all these children in the magazine, but you're still skipping to adulthood.
Right.
Not discussing poor educational support for younger boys.
Exactly.
Or poor emotional support for
everything's about men. But you had that little baby in that little picture with that man. Keep these sharing out this magazine with these foolishness.
Because this right here is some foolishness. This is some we passed foolishness.
Persistent barriers to wealth. What is that beside persistent barriers to wealth?
That threat of extinction, that's why they constantly the pro-Black nuclear family. That is a fear that they have, just like white people in this abortion ban. Yeah, the same thing with Black men in this nuclear family. It's a fear that they have.
I want to understand why do they think that was an okay thing to publish? Because it shows that y'all absolutely have no idea what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and why it needs to be done. But all these D's and F's, this is what to do. If I brought home a report card like this, my mama would have had a fit. What is this?
I wasn't even allowed to bring home a C. I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Bring home a C.
I could never.
And let me ask you a question: if you got D's and F, how you get a medal? You still want to be awarded for the bare minimum?
Tracking our collective progress.
The participation.
I was more concerned about how we had all these D's and F's and NAs, but we still got an 8.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing too. I was confused.
Wouldn't y'all be over here with a 2?
Don't you add up the points and then divide them to get the average, and then you take it from there?
Yes.
That's devastating. They can't even do math.
Oh no! Whoa! Now you.
I ain't.
No.
Not like the white people. They just go bring MLK in this.
Just sprinkle it in there because they think they're leaders. But that's the funny thing, because they put a leader in this, pamphlet.
Then they go their work
before this, Y'all ain't got no type of leadership, no type of guidance, no type of nothing. You showed up.
Like,
the other magazine
Jesse
where
Jackson ain't
somebody else
signing up
signed
for
the
this. Al Sharpton ain't
What is
signing
a
up for
lie?
this. Like, and they
You
ain't
know
nobody
what?
to home to. You gonna put Martin Luther King on the back? I'm confused.
Of course.
You know
'Cause
what?
it's-
Let that man rest in peace.
Please,
You know what?
and thank you.
Yeah. They leave Martin alone.
That is mildly terrifying.
I could have went my whole life never seeing that report card.
But it makes sense how they keep all of them have the same talking points.
Yep.
Mhm.
It don't
The
matter.
manosphere
which
has
one.
to be led by an old bitter man.
It's
It
always
has
the
to be.
older
I'm
man.
telling you, I'm almost positive the Black manosphere is absolutely led by a white man.
Yeah.
It
That
has
is
to be.
absolutely what this is. Like, you know, those troll accounts on Twitter where they'll start saying just real
Like, as a Black man, and then everything is racist.
exactly. And it's always talking negatively about Black men themselves and about Black women and how we need to change and what's wrong with the community, blah, 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 blah. And then you start consulting your Googles or doing some research, and it's actually a white person behind the account.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost positive that's exactly where this Black manosphere is coming from, because a lot of their talking points are the talking points of white supremacists.
People,
And if it
yes.
comes out,
Fine.
if it
And I
comes
don't
out that the
understand.
white man is behind it,
They
you'll-
just take the
You can't
same
tell
thing
them
and
that,
add a
though.
little Lorries on it, and then
Yeah.
run with it.
Girl,
You know what I'm
thank you. Add a little
cinnamon.
Now some Lowry's on it.
Put some flavor.
I'm the add a little obey.
Exactly.
Little obey
Little
on
sprinkle.
it. Little- and they think
Y'all,
they gonna
look,
fluff.
I
Yo,
can't.
I'm good. I could have.
Y'all, we gonna have to wrap this up because I can't. This makes my head hurt, y'all. Like they really have all the audacity, all of the audacity. Like what the fuck?
I promise I will stay single before I deal with any of what we talked
I
about.
already made my mind up.
Any of what the hell I just saw. I cannot unsee that. Thank you.
I
I
take
already
it.
made my
I'm sorry.
mind up. Thank God
Sorry
for
for
the women that I
traumatizing
have,
y'all.
but I will
That was
never.
a lie. Them definitions. I ain't gonna call nobody else Zaddy.
at all.
Because they ain't got something to do with
Never
a white
gonna
man.
call. Never gonna call another man zaddy. Never ever.
I cannot. All right, y'all. Let's do a 30-second around the room. Any last parting thoughts? Any inspiration for the girls watching it? I don't even know where to go, child.
Ladies,
I'm gonna need a cocktail.
can I go first? Ladies,
whoever wants to go first.
Me, Ari. I just want to say this to any women that are watching this. You know, be happy single, because you are setting yourself up for failure if you think for a second that man that thinks like that is going to ever change to be anything other than what he is. I'm just saying, if he was trash when you first met him, when he was out there sitting on the bus stop waiting for the next pickup, then you know he's never going to change from that. I'm so sorry, and God bless.
Not Godspeed.
Yes, I had to end it with some kind of God in it. Just gonna pray.
Very
All right, who
informative
wants to
and
go
very
next?
enlightening. I love it.
Yes.
And now I see the manosphere in yet another light, a different light.
In a light that now has me like, I got some more thinking to do before I do any like.
And I know we're joking. I think the frustrating part, and like they always say, we as Black people, that's the way in which we cope with a lot of things through laughter. They're dangerous at the same time.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
No. That's the. But it's like if I don't laugh and make fun of it, I'm gonna just cry.
I'm like, these are men within our community that we walk amongst. Because I had a conversation with a guy about a month and a half ago at my training, and when I was at the gym, and we were just talking, and alpha males came up, and he was like, "Well, what do you mean? I consider myself an alpha male." That opened my eyes. I get treated a certain type of way because they like me, until I step out of pocket and they don't like me. then they're going to treat me like the next woman. And a lot of us are walking amongst these men, and because we don't discuss the subjects, we don't know, because they're very good at covering it up. They're very good at being manipulative and being the representative that they need to be. But that's dangerous, because you never know who is dangerous that's walking around you and amongst you. And these are the ones that you are cool with.
I keep telling people on my other page, society has you thinking you know what a monster may look like. It's the opposite of what you think. It is that clean cut one, the one that's supposed to be family and everything else, and at home they are a nightmare, and they're out here doing nightmare stuff. You really have to be careful and ask all the hard on all my platforms. Ask the hard questions. Know now. Don't waste your time. You know what you're looking for, especially as you get older. If it don't smell right, follow your instinct and go. Like, you really won't be missing out on anything
at all.
Before anything else, you need to be comfortable here, home here, because you got to have your own sense of identity before you end up with a man like that and you end up stuck and trapped, because that's what they're looking for, stuck and trapped. No, thank you.
I have had to do a cleanse of my male friends on the app and off the app, especially within the last month. I made a video, I felt bad because with some mutuals that I talked to off app, but it's like we've had a conversation and you still continue with the same antics. That's a part of your character, your behavior. Yeah, and I'm not interested in dealing with it. So I've had to do a cleaning of my friends.
I think the last thing I would tell our sistren out here who are listening to this, be comfortable in the fact that everybody can't go.
Yep.
You got to leave that ass exactly where they at. If they want to be deeply rooted in foolishness, leave them there. And you keep moving on to whatever it is that you got going on for yourself. Because as soon as you start trying to, put this person on your back and put this person on your back and all this other stuff, you're not going to get nowhere, because you're carrying your baggage and everybody else's. So get comfortable in leaving people where they're at.
Yep. Also with this situation, women, whoever is listening, also start to go through the process of knowing that if you do make that decision to be by yourself, especially after seeing things like what we've seen within the manosphere, go ahead and start that grieving process of the life you thought you were supposed to have. Because I'm recognizing at 35 with similar friends that are around the same age, where we thought there's no way we're not going to be married at 25, that a lot of us were having hard times processing that and still having that hope that these men will change. But the ones who want to change will, and the ones who don't, we have to leave them where they are. So even though it's like, I'm okay being by myself, really process that, really take the time to go through the emotions of not having the picket fence that you were groomed or taught would happen eventually, and happen before you're 30. And now you're 35 and you're going towards 40 and you don't know how to handle certain situations. It's okay to process, but be okay while going through that process of knowing that, hey, on the other end, I'm going to end up being a better version of myself. And that's either with or without him. And if it's without him, then I'm still okay. Like, that's very important.
Yep, I agree.
I think the one thing I have to add is educate yourself, whether that is formally or informally. Educate yourself on what it looks like and what it sounds like for a man to be affiliated with this world without him saying he's affiliated with this world. Know the talking points, and know how to protect yourself and know when to move around. Okay, like, be okay with being single so that if you need to be safe, you prioritize you over saying you have a man. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that some other time. We're gonna double that some other time. But as always, ladies, thank you so much for joining me. You don't have to spend your Sunday evening with me, and you guys did, and I appreciate it. I loved having this conversation with you. Next week there will be no episode, but the following week we're going to deep dive into the civil rights movement in hindsight. So I will get that information out, and we're gonna prepare ourselves to talk about it, because there's things to discuss.
They go definitely say we the problem in the Black community after that.
Listen, look, I learned something new today. I did not know we started World War I and II, so maybe according to them and their logic and their research, apparently
we are bad.
Like, I didn't know we had that much power globally. If I had known we had that much global power, I would be moving a little different.
Right.
Because according to moving globally like that, apparently we got some resources too that I didn't know about. So
we start wars.
Like, where can I tap into those resources?
Okay, where's the safe? Where's the sign-up sheet? Like,
right.
It's delusional. But bye, YouTube. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks.